Boo! Hello. Can you guys even hear me? Oh, you guys can hear me. Oh my god, I was just imagining that you guys were not going to be able to hear me, and that's insane. Hey babies, this is the best K-pop Demon Hunter song. Also, let me just that's not it. This is the best K-pop Demon Hunter song. I'm right, you're wrong if you think otherwise. Because my word is gospel. Is it gospel? My word is Bible. Bibble. My word is Bibble. My microphone is annoying me again because it's just so high up on my ass. My ass being my face. Hi, babies. How we doing? Dante, congrats on your 69th banana collector. That is insane work, my guy. I hope you're proud. Thank you for the grinding on those bananas. Panda definitely is, like, thankful. That's Pancho. Panda? Pancho? Panda? I'm thinking of them. I'm thinking of Pandita. I'm thinking of my little polar panda. I play this in the car for my granny to listen to. You drive? You drive? That's so sexy. No weirdo. That's so sexy. I love when people drive. Macy! Hi, gorgeous. How are you? Let me go around the room. Dante, thank you for the congrats on first. Dwebu, congrats on having the craziest Hear Me Outs in history. And congrats on second first as well. I think that also counts. As well. And Katie, thank you so much for the third first. Congrats on snatching that. You look hot in brown. I was just saying that. Who told me that I look good as a blonde? Who lied to me? I know I lied to myself and I thought I looked good as a blonde. I know you're talking about my shirt, but I went for coffee with my friend Robin. You guys will remember? You guys remember Lil Robin Red? Our founder, one of our founders. Hi puppy. Hi puppy. How are you doing? Are you working? Or are you taking the day do you have the day off? How are you? It's so good to see you here. What was I saying? Yeah, so Robin and I went for a coffee and I was just like, who lied to me and told me that blonde looked good on me? Who lied to me? You lied to me! You lied to me! I can't drive yet. Me neither, girl. I really can't drive. I can't drive. I know. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for gassing me up. I really appreciate that. But I do like this shirt on me. I do agree with you, Maisie. I do really like this shirt. Dolce, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. I wish I was working. Do you not want to be at home? But you look outstanding as a brunette. Is that because I'm an do you guys know those whole color coordination things of being a winter and then being a soft autumn, deep autumn? I'm just like, I'm just a regular bitch. I don't know if I'm autumn, I don't know if I'm winter. God, I don't know if I'm spring. I just know I'm a regular bitch on the internet. My boyfriend is my driver. Wait, is he? Have you guys met? Is he with you now? Those details, I would have to one day tell you privately. That's okay, darling. Don't you worry, my love. Well, you're here. We can distract you, right? We've got blind boxes. We've got Dolce the Sorry, we got Elmo the Milk. I got Elmo the Milkies. Whenever you're, I need to do an Elmo the Milkies redeem. No, my voice can't today. You are a work of art. What does Silas say? Whoever created you. What did he say? If you are an art piece, whoever created you must have loved you dearly. That's on per. And that's really on per. That's truly on per. You are a work of art. What have you guys been up to? I was off today. Ladies, don't be jealous. I, however, went shopping. And I got matcha. However, I can't show you the matcha that I had because there is only one shop of matcha of that brand, and I don't want to dox myself. In Wales, and I don't want to dox myself. You know, you guys already know I live in Wales. Not my best friend doesn't even know where I live. It's actually crazy. I know where he lives. But I don't want to dox myself. But I got matcha. I got a bamboo thingy. I'm so addicted to matcha, y'all. I have truly cracked the white girl aesthetic. Wait, she lives in Wales? I'm Welsh, babes. When I get British citizenship, I'm going to be Welsh, y'all. Is that so crazy? That's crazy, right? When I get British citizenship, I'm going to be Welsh. Right? Because it's not a matter of if. I really want to have British citizenship one day. Now that I put it out there, the world's going to play against me. Or maybe I want Australian citizenship. Hi! I always forget you're Welsh. I'm pretty much Welsh. I just don't have the accent. Yeah, she lives in Wales. Get her! Guys, Wales is a big country. Wales is a big country. Half of it is not populated, but like, I'm sure if you wanted to dig enough, you could find where I live. And like, good luck. I mean, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. But like, just don't try me, bitch. I can fight. If you try and stalk me, bitch, I'm probably not even calling the police. I'm not one to condone violence. But bitch, I could probably get you. I need to go turn the light off. Hold up. I'm going to leave you with Sasha Boys. You know I'm the only one who loves her sins. What have you guys been up to? Oh my god, Lilula did the fun. Okay, can we get a shout out for Lilula, please? Because she did she's doing a Shrekathon. And she did a community hear me out. Boy, was it crazy. I missed mine because I was out with Robin. You've been baking? What did you bake? But oh my guys, go follow Lilula. She is an absolute star. She is so fucking funny. But she is also such a sweetheart. My great-great-grandparents are British. Did they move to South Africa? Such a boy, steal my soul. Per. Dolce is a buddy. Per. Not so per. Who was going to tell me that there was Baldur's Gate Funk Pops existed? Oh, chat! I reached 400 hours on Baldur's Gate. No cap. It's actually insane. So I got my Shadowheart, my beloved. They didn't have Astarion. Shadowheart was literally the last one, but now I'm on a mission to get all of them. And did you guys see the K-pop Demon Hunters Funko Pops? Did you guys see it? Oh my god, I want them. You got Shirt. How'd you know her name? How'd you know her nickname? You never played Baldur's Real plays. Dwayne, can you share the clip of my Hear Me Out in chat? Because my Hear Me Out is quite crazy. That they got me a Funko Pop that I've wanted for ages for my birthday. Which one was it? Cakes and Crumbles. What's that? Cakes and Crumbles. What's Cakes and Crumbles? Am I being silly Billy? Oh my god. She's so beautiful. To be honest, there are not a lot. There are only 3. I think there's not a lot. There's apparently Karlach, Shadowheart, and Astarion. I did not know there were the most... Actually, I'm going to say this is a missed opportunity for... spoiler alert, the Emperor. Don't Google it! If you haven't finished Baldur's Gate, don't Google who the Emperor is. She's so pretty. Hold up, I just got rid of her. Oh my god, that's insane. Oh, she's so cute. With the little orb. Look at her. I love her. You didn't see that. Yeah, guys, go watch that clip. That's my Hear Me Out. It's actually insane. My Hear Me Out is a bit insane. She's so cute. Let me go put her. Sophie! Hi, gorgeous! Look! Can we get a shout out for Sophie, please? How are you doing, darling? I got my shirt. Where do I put her? Here? Wait, what? Dwayne, you didn't know it was me. You didn't even... But the thing is, you should have known it was me. Because all I do is talk about gargoyles. Can you blame me? And there were only 3 people left. Are you playing Echoes of Wisdom, darling? How is it going? I still haven't played. I haven't even finished the other one. And I know they're not connected, but I would like to play... What's it called? What's the other one called? That looks like Echoes of Wisdom. No, no, I'm making cakes and I'm making apple and blueberry crumbles. Oh no, that sounds delicious. I am so jealous. I wish I could bake. I know I can bake, but like I can't bake. It's good. Okay, put if you want to post on a Discord once you're done. I'm gonna spend the entire day playing BG3. Can I be your friend on Steam? Please. I want to see you logging out to BG3 so you can also see what I'm looking at. Okay, funny story today. Robin and I were supposed to meet at 12 so we could go for brunch. But then they ordered, because they have Amazon Prime, they ordered this book for me. Yes, La Divina Commedia, but Dante's Inferno. This is one of my favorite poems ever. And someone, we were talking, I think it was because of Andante TV on Cat Stream, and I was just like, I love the name Dante. Not my Dante with an AI, Dante with an E. Fuck Dante with an AI at the end. Fuck that guy. I love him to pieces. And I said La Divina Commedia is one of my favorite poems of all time. And I was just like, I feel like reading Dante's Inferno all over again. What the fuck is going on? I'm talking about this book. So anyways, the book was arriving today to Robin's flat, to Robin's house. To Robin's home. Oh my god, I can't talk. Nah, fuck you. Nah, fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. When I visit you, girl, that's so sweet, Katie. Thank you. Maybe I will visit you. Fuck Frankie with an bitch. You little fucking bitch. Pull up if you have if you have courage. Link's Awakening. That one I still want to finish it. How are you finding Echoes of Wisdom? My boyfriend wanted to buy me a derpy shirt, but it wasn't in my size. Oh, the dirt. Okay, got it. However, Frankie, about a year ago, Dante and I found a Ganymede keyring thing. Okay, let me put chat here, because we're not playing Overwatch as of now. We're just chatting. I'm not going to change the category. I am an Overwatch player. Fuck off if you don't like my chatting. About a year ago, Dante and I found a Ganymede keyring thing. What the fuck is a Ganymede? And we said it was for me, and then he stole it and hasn't given it back, and he's just displaying it on his shelf as if it's his hit. Don't worry, yesterday he blamed me of stealing his Wii U charging cable, even though I know for a fact that I don't have it with me. Ganymede is Bastion's bird. Oh, is that the name? Oh, I did see it on his shelf the other week. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, speaking of, yeah, because I was just like, Sophie, do you want to be my friend on Steam? Anyways, so when basically the story was we delayed meeting for after Robin's haircut, and then I jumped on BG3. I jumped on Baldur's Gate before meeting Robin, and then Robin mentioned that. They said, do you know what I found so funny is you telling me you were late, and then also the book was arriving, and then agreeing to meeting after 2, and then you immediately jumped onto Baldur's Gate. Anyways, that's what's happened. This bitch show my cable, guys. Shut the fuck up. I know you have it. It's not in my flat. It's not. Echoes is fun, but it has been giving me headaches, so I don't know if I'm going to... Headaches, why? Because of the puzzles? Is it because of the puzzles? Link's Awakening was kind of a bitch when it came to... I don't particularly like puzzles, and I'm not good at them. I won't lie. It was also like being a little bit of a bitch. You stole my bird. Let's not. It's just a bird. Speaking of birds, I don't know what's up with whales. Okay, this is going to be extremely graphic, so if you don't like mentions of like animal cruelty, I don't know if it's animal cruelty, just jump out. I don't know what's up with whales. When Tin and Kondu were here, we saw the exact same thing happening, but all I see is birds dead on the ground, and they're ripped apart. I cried the other day. I was coming back home from the gym, and I saw a seagull dragging a bird, and a bird was like open, like his entire body was open. Guys, it was disgusting. I felt like crying. It was so sad. And I have a dead bird ripped apart in front of my building. I don't know what's wrong. And then when Jenna and Kondo were here, we saw the exact same thing. It's disgusting. You did get Zane's card in only 20 pulls, so I'm saving for Silas. I did hear of Silas' solo. And Katie, I'm so bored of the game. I haven't been playing it, and I'm going to regret it on my Silas account. I just know it. But it is fun letting Zelda be a menace to society for us. We deserved it. We deserve it. But I really hope they one day make like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom kind of game with Zelda. That's what we deserve. Like, we had her in Age of Calamity. Did you play Age of Calamity? And yes, I would like to be Steam friends. Yay! Yay! My Steam at is Cunty Virgil with a V instead of a U. As in Cunty with a V, and then Virgil. Like controversial, but Cunty Virgil. Credits to Kat for that. Also, guys, can we get a shout out for Kat? Because she had her VTube debut yesterday. She's like a K-pop with her debut. I don't know. I'm boomer, so I don't know how these things work. But she had her debut. And it's like the K-pop debuts. It's so cute. Her VTube is so cute as well. She's playing My Time at Sandrock. Anyways, I got this. And then we got blind box. We got a Skull Panda blind box. Eepee. I love Skull Panda. I finally managed as well to get my hands on during the live stream. Do you guys know the new Skull Pandas, L'Impressionism? They're really beautiful. I'll unbox. I'll open it on stream once it gets here. I love Skull Panda. I think I prefer Skull Pandas to Labubus. I'm not going to lie. Anyways, I don't know which one I want. Probably the secret one, because I still don't own a secret, or like this purple. Yeah. Okay, maybe this one or the purple one, but definitely this one is also cute. Is that the cover? No, the frame is the cover. I love Skull Panda. Anyways, can you guys hear this? If I do this, can you guys hear it? I don't know if you guys heard that. I always dox the thing when I look into it. Dox? That's not the right word. Oh my god, this comes in like a whole fucking package. I just saw which one it was. I don't know how to feel. Why is the card at the top, Pop Mart? Why is the card at the top? Which one is this? It's a ball. I love balls. Love balls. Yes, love balls. She's cute. She's strapped. Oh, does it open? Oh my god, it opens. Hold up. Guys, it opens. She's stunning. Which one is this? Oh, I got the one I said I wanted. It's the Kongu. It's this one. I got the one I wanted, Chad. Sly. Why would a ball be there? Look at these details. Okay, I'm just going to let you stare. Look at these details. Oh my god, straighten up for once in your life, please. She's beautiful. Look at those details. It smells like plastic. We fell down high, we jumped down. I love this song. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. So cute. I love Skull Panda. Balls. For once in her life. I mean, I've had balls, but like, you know, I need to stop. I need to be more stream friendly, you know? Challenge impossible. Who will want to like endorse, like, how the fuck do I do this? Oh. How does the ball work? Guys, I haven't played with balls in a long time, so I don't know how they work anymore. Can someone that plays with balls or has balls explain? I need to stop. I'm sorry, Chad. This is bad. This is terrible. How the fuck does this work, man? How do balls work? Gee. Is it like this? Oh, it just stays in place. The details are amazing. Wait, girl, did you see that they are selling K-pop Demon Hunter CDs? Yeah, I did. I would like the vinyl, though. I would like the vinyl. Really, like, a lot. In case you haven't noticed, I'm collecting vinyls a little bit. It's, oh my god, it's so true. I love you. How the fuck do I do this? She's so cute. Do I just leave it? Should I leave it open? I don't know. Because then I can't see her. See? You play with balls. That's false. I just haven't done it in a while, girl. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's complicated. It's complicated, isn't it? It doesn't stay if I don't. It doesn't stay if I don't. Pretty girls, pretty girl. Hi, how does this work? I wish I could see. I wish the case was like less transparent. Why are you side eyeing me? I play with Love in Deep Space balls. They don't exist though. They don't exist. Where the fuck do I put her? Okay, guys, this is my Skull Panda collection. This is how you know I love Skull Panda. So there's this one. There's a ball, and then there's this one I got in Amsterdam. For fuck's sake, chill out. She's so cute. I unboxed her in my second TikTok. Frankie Dough with an X. Frankie with an X. Dough as in dough. Dough. This is my other Skull Panda. I also got her from Amsterdam. So she is Dutch. She's not an alien. She's Dutch. And this one, I think I got her during my birthday when I went to Birmingham. When I went to Bergs. Very cute. And then I have my limited... I have a limited edition Skull Panda, chat. Yeah, my Skull Panda. My limit. Kat has the same one. I got it for her first. Boy, was I trying my hardest to get it for her. And then I saw it, obviously, because it came to my house. It was delivered to my house. And then I fell in love with it. And then I said, I want it. And then I also got it during my birthday when I went to Birmingham. Oh, because Dante grabs the box. And he's just like, Frankie, look at this. It's so cute. You'd love it. And I just stare at him and I'm like, do you know what you're holding right now? Do you know what? And at this point, he had already put the box back. I'm just like, Dante, grab that shit. Do you know what you're holding right now? It's limited edition. It was the last one. Grab it. It was very funny. I should be careful with what I say, LMAO. I think you're fine, darling. I think you're fine. The one thing... I don't know. The one thing that does my ears in... I don't want it to ever seem like I give special treatment to people. But I think if one thing in life is so obvious is... when you are building a community, you will still, hopefully, have friends of yours in chat. So, you know... it's... I still want to, obviously, I don't want to ever exclude the opportunity of building it to anyone, of joining the community. That's what I'm here for, is to meet new people, build a community that I already have. But, like, for example, it reminds me of that person that one day when we were streaming Love in Deep Space, she was, I believe, I mean, they were talking about how they would let, I think, Caleb... do like all, like listing all of these things of what they would let Caleb, I think it was Caleb, do to them. And then they mentioned public sex. And I said, girl, that's illegal in God knows how many countries, and you would most likely end up in a sex offenders list. Don't talk about it, please. It makes me uncomfortable. And she just kept being like, no, I would actually do that. So, like, what I'm saying is, she was a new first chatter, okay? And I don't want it to ever seem like there's, like, preferred, like, I have any favoritism. But I think the obvious thing is, a mod saying that does, unless they were a mod, I don't think my mods would ever say that. Because, again, I like public sex. Hi, Chia! Sorry, you just joined in. Sorry. All I'm trying to say is, Katie, I think you are fine because you're okay with boundaries, and, like, you've never said anything that has ever made me uncomfortable. Like, I don't think a first-time chatter coming in and for the first time ever, full on, you don't know this person, but saying, yeah, I would let him do this to me publicly, like, I really want, you just don't do that. It's as a first-time chatter, especially, you don't do that, right? So, like, again, I don't want it to ever seem like I'm playing favoritism, but I think for example, if my VIPs were being a little bit more explicit with me, I would let that because I know my VIPs. I've hanged out with them. They're probably my real friends, my real life friends. And even if not, I have online friends that I trust. Like, I don't think as a first time, I'm a viewer as well on Twitch. I don't think I have never been to someone's chat as a first time chatter and been like fully on weird because I don't know this person. They don't know me. And also, if I was to see a mod of theirs say something a little bit more explicit, I would never hold that against anyone because I know they're probably friends. It's kind of, I hope that makes sense. Are a sign of trust. Exactly, that's why they are there, and the mods thing as well. And this is to never exclude any of my guys. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm fully on banging on specifically first time chatters or like new people to the community. Like, you just don't go into someone's new community and say the things that person said. Do you know what I'm saying? So Katie, you are fine. Also, I've run out of VIP badges. So don't ever anyone I love my friends. If you're my real-time friend and if we've hanged out and if we've talked on DMs, I trust you. I don't have any more VIP badges to give out. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't have. I'm out. Where the fuck do I put this? Also, I know we spoke on Cat Stream, but how are you? It's official. I'm a real life Dolce friend. Then I know that's right. So when are we meeting? When are we meeting, guys? I'm sweating my titties out. I'm literally sweating my titties out right now. Let me put the fan on. Is it on? It's not on. Oh. It's on. Oh my god, can you please? Okay. How we doing? People just be like, hi, I'm new here. I would let Silas redacted my censored in. That was so crazy to me, really. And she was a first time chatter. They were a first time chatter. It was insane. I only the one thing I regret, and I don't think I'm still building my boundaries online as well, despite the fact that I've been doing this online thing for like God knows how long. The only thing I regret is not voicing my concerns more explicitly at the time. Although I did say, girl, you would probably end up in a sex offenders list. For me, that's more than enough to shut the fuck up. And not in a good way, yeah. Yeah, I'm very protective over like Cad and Tin as a mod. So so like I feel that. It's always a weird vibe if someone immediately doesn't get boundaries. Like, exactly. That's why I do regret not explicitly saying, look, that is really disturbing me right now, because I did ban them after the stream. But you might as well just ban. If the vibe is weird, you might as well just ban. It doesn't mean they're necessarily a bad person. We just don't all have to mesh, you know? You're still working on it, and that's so fair. Thanks, babes. That's what us mods are for. And guys, I will say, if you ever feel like banning someone, like, I don't know, Dwayne, feel free to do it. I trust your judgment, mods. Me, when I'm just a regular, I am very protective too. I need to hold back a lot of the time. I don't hold back. If someone's annoying me, I just send them warnings. And like, check the rules. Not on my stream, because I'm always distracted, but like if I'm modding on Tin or Can, I'm just like, can you check the rules? Please. Please. Which I think if I ever make it as a like medium biggish streamer, I would have to stop modding, because I think that would be like very like, that would like, I don't know, I don't think that would mesh, but I'm not even there, so it's like I enjoy this. I banned someone before just because they kept coming into chat really drunk. They never say anything awful, but I just wasn't comfortable when they were around because I had no idea what they were going to say next. That is extremely valid. That is extremely valid. My question is, if you're drunk, why are you on Twitch? I mean, it's an honor. Don't get me wrong, it's an honor because, like, they get to see you, but I feel that. I feel that because also, isn't that a little bit concerning that every time they dropped into chat, they were drunk, especially if they were like a regular. You did well. Warning, you are being fucking annoying. Acknowledge warning. Yeah, your vibe is just off. Your vibe is just off. I don't like your shit. I didn't snooze the ads. Or the people that sexualize everything the streamer says. Like, they'd ask how they are and they would make it. Chia, that is why, like, I always feel so guilty whenever I know I shouldn't feel guilty. But you guys know me. I am so fucking dirty. But I am always in the back of my mind. Will someone that is new grab onto that and then just, like, take you 10 times further? That is always something at the back of my mind. So best believe me, when I'm talking about being a furry, that's mild. I'm being very mild. I say far worse shit than that with my friends. I do. My friends know it. I just say worse shit than that. If you guys think I'm already crazy, I'm crazier. I'm crazier. Because at the back of my mind, I mean, like, someone's new is going to grab onto that and make it 10 times worse. Like that time, that guy oh, this pisses me off to today. I didn't stream for like 3 months straight because this guy made me feel so uncomfortable with myself every fucking time. And he had a girlfriend. I am outing. This person was just like, so good luck at work. This guy was so weird with me on stream. Some of you probably know who he is because I've spoken to my friends about this. But this is why, again, if the vibe is off and they're making you uncomfortable, just ban them. This is like my one thing I would say to a new streamer. Yeah, we've noticed. Well, thanks, Sophie. That's, oh my god, you guys noticed? That is so sweet. That is really sweet. Girl fell. I'm so sorry, darling. That is not... I don't want that for anyone else. I was just so in shock that I don't know, that guy just made me feel so weird that I was afraid of coming back to stream. This guy had a girlfriend and he was being extremely flirty on chat. And that was just so weird. That was so weird. I don't know why I didn't ask him to stop. And then he follows me on Instagram once. He's blocked, so you guys can't even see him on a followers list. He had a whole ass girlfriend. Guys, I have other crazy stories. Back in the day in 2020 from when I started streaming. Yes, because I started streaming in 2020. It's crazy. And then I stopped. I did 2020 to 2021 and then I stopped. Welcome back from ads. We're just talking about how this guy was like being fucking weirdo and flirting on chat. But he followed me on Instagram and I realized that he has a girlfriend. Not that I was interested. I was just like curious at looking at his profile. He had a whole ass girlfriend. Flirting with me on chat, making me extremely uncomfortable every time. And then when I banned him was when he told, what did he say? Oh, chat was quiet. We were just like feeling the vibe of the game and whatnot because we were playing a demo. And then he all of a sudden just says, God, it's so hot. I really wish I was naked right now because it's so hot. This may not be a lot to you, but I don't know this person. That was so weird to me. Who am I sending to the shadow realm? No one, darling. No one. He's blocked and banned. So it's fine. I wish I had banned him sooner. I really do. I wish I had banned him sooner. Because he just made me feel so weird. You don't just go to someone's chat that you don't know, that you met online, you barely know, and you say, God, it's so hot. I really, really wish I was naked right now and just walking around. Then I finished streaming. I didn't stream for 3 months. I'm so sorry, guys. I was really scared of coming back to stream. Took me a bit to ban him. Anyways, enough with sad stories. Guys, we have loot boxes. The moral of the story is, if they're annoying you and you feel the vibe is off, like Dwayne Bowe, just ban them. Just ban them. Literally. Please don't ban Dwayne Bowe. Whoa? Please don't ban Dwayne Bowe. I beg. Please don't. Loot boxes! Let's fucking go! I have 47. 47? 47. I also love this song. This is my 2022 album. It's Demi Lovato. Holy fuck. Guys, if you haven't listened to Holy Fuck by Demi Lovato, this is my 2022 album of the year. This is specifically saved for me. No! If you remain sad, I will be streaming as Elmo the Milkies for the rest of stream. I will be on my Elmo the Milkies for the rest of stream. Please, I can't do this. No sad allowed. Literally none. Do you know what is fucking homophobic? Is the fact that I have 0 epic loot boxes and legendary loot boxes. Now, Frankie, you can't use the word homophobic to describe everything. I do think it's a bit homophobic that I don't have any epic or legendary loot boxes. I think it's targeted. You see right there? I think it's targeted. I think it... Do you know what's really fucked up? Can I just say? This is for Blizzard. Oh, the game is muted. I'm so sorry. Do you know what's really fucked up? Oh, what the fuck is this skin? Look at the bird. You can when it sings you don't like, though. And this close to Pride 2. Literally! This close to Pride 2. You know what's really fucked up as well?
I will eat more dumplings than anyone has ever eaten.
And that's on perk, baby girl. You do that. You do that. Can you guys hear the game? Hope you can. It's because you don't need the guaranteed, because you're gonna get so lucky. I'm gonna get so lucky. But you guys know what's really fucked up, and this is one of the reasons I don't... If I ever am gifted the opportunity, I love the game Overwatch, but Blizzard as a company, no. But I do love Overwatch. And I don't fault the Overwatch team to Blizzard's terrible choices. I just don't. But the fact that in the game we have an Israeli flag, fuck this shit, but we don't have a Palestinian flag. I can't see a... Can you guys see a Palestinian flag? Is it purchased? Hold up. All. Come on, let's make this fair. I could be wrong, but I saw it the other day. I want to verify it again. I think that is really fucked up. And no person in my watch that has the Israeli flag in this game. I don't know. I don't care that this doesn't change anything. That's Jordan. Hi, Mochi! Wifey! Can we get a shout out for Mochi? Hi, gorgeous. How are you doing? How are you doing? It's so lovely to see you here. I played with Mochi. Was it yesterday that we played? I am so sorry for the screams, darling. I do scream when I'm playing this game. I do. There is an Israeli flag, but there is not a Palestinian one. And no one in my watch, as far as I have the patience, will ever see peace when they're in an Overwatch lobby with me. Hakte. And you may think this is not a big deal. Representation is a big deal. Like one big part of manifestations is being, what do they call it? I don't remember. I was going to say something I can't remember. You had me dying when you were flirting with your post. She ignored me, man. I will do that. I think I want to do something. I think I want to do a TikTok of me just being like, yeah, you're being a good girl, Junker Queen. I want to do like a TikTok of me just flirting with Junker Queen. Guys, I have a massive crush on this woman. Hold up. Let me go back to the shop. But yeah, Blizzard, if you're listening, I definitely think you should remedy that and you should include in the Palestinian flag. Representation matters. People see it. People recognize it. Look at this woman. Look at this woman. Look at this woman. And the fact that you have an Israeli flag but not a Palestinian one speaks volumes to me. Speaks volumes to me. I don't know if this is just I don't know. I think there may be some sort of politics. Maybe I'm betting the Overwatch team did mean to include a Palestinian one, and then Blizzard was just like, no. Mind you, this game is from 2017, and the war has been going on since 1930s. Very sus, Blizzard. I think it's a Blizzard decision. I don't think it's down to the Overwatch team. I could be wrong. I would most likely put my hands on a fire over this bet. I could be wrong, but I think I would get burned. I don't care. Also, I'm going to be a lot of this. What's this? Where is this from? Oh my god, the emotes are so cute. No, I love that emote. What have you been up to, Mochi? What have you been up to? Where is Junker Queen's skin? Is it gone? I'm on my knees. I am literally... The Giver is playing by Chaperone the Giver. He got antlers on my walls. But I hope Junker Queen hears me when I'm just like, cowgirl with me, please. Look at this. Look at... I literally the other day, I am feminism's worst... Thank you for the lurk, cat. I am feminism's worst enemy. I would like to consider myself a feminist. I'm pretty sure I am, but I'm also extremely dirty. And I was playing with Cat Tin, and I think Mochi as well. Blind Boxo! Oh, you got Pinky! Pinky! So I was playing with Cat and the friends the other day, and I think it was either Tin or Quan, I don't remember, but they were telling me to hurry the fuck up. And to be, I was saying nasty stuff. And I said, I don't want to be respectful. I want to look at her boobs. And that's all I'm gonna say, because I get the job done. I get the job done, ladies. I do get the job done. Look at those muscles. Those are the legs that I want to have. These are body goals for me. I want to be muscle the milkies. I want to be muscle the milkies. Yes. That's my life goal, is to become muscle the milkies. Muscle the milkies. Just working and ready for the weekend. Oh, yeah, it's Friday. I'm off today. So I've been off today. So I'm just like, oh, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. What are you doing this weekend, darling? Yeah, she is. Yeah, I want her. Whatever Kat said, what did Kat say about Ghost the other day? She said something on my knees, raw, no protection. Front left, war bombs on me, bloom, bloom, bloom. Whatever she said about Ghost. I was making a salad and she was being extremely naughty about Ghost from COD. It was so funny. Loot Boxo. Still doing my gut cleanse and so scared to leave the house. Why, darling? Is it because you're not eating a lot?
I don't believe in elves. Now dragons.
Wait. She is so me.
I don't believe in elves. Now dragons.
She would, girl, Junker Queen, you would love Dragon from Shrek 2. She would absolutely have a crush on the dragon from Shrek 2. This gut cleanse got me besties with... I'm sorry, I laughed, but that is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. Does it mean it? Surely means it's working. How are you feeling overall? I need more water. 40. I'm going to be so lucky. I'm going to pull a legendary early. This game fucking sucks. What the fuck is this skin? She has a little tag at the end. That's cute. No, I don't care. Next. This game sucks. I can feel the bloating has gone down. That is really good. That is really good. Do you mind my asking? Why are you doing it, darling?
Claims.
You don't have to say. It's none of my business. I'm just, just want to know. Moving on, my pretty. I like the skin. I really like the skin. What is this song? Oh.
Clear skies.
Fuck Farah. I played Farah by accident yesterday on Stadium Quick Play and it was traumatizing. I am a terrible Farah. I am a terrible Farah. What the fuck are these? What the fuck are these?
Wake up, sleepyhead.
Nice.
Haven't I killed you?
That is so funny. That is so funny. Hello? What do you mean? Where are you? Get on Overwatch, bitch. Bitch, get on Overwatch. Thank you for the lurk, Sophie. It was so lovely to see you here. I'm sending a big kiss. I appreciate the lurk. I started a weight loss journey and figured and gut cleanse and will be good to get rid of all the extra. That's fair enough. I'm also I'm trying to lose weight as well. To have just one more night. Wait, show this to Kat. I need Kat to see this. Someone show this to Kat right now, please. She is so hot. Dante! Date! Date! Date, where are... Look at those cunty heels. Look at those cunty heels. Oh, she's hot. Can her tail do something in me? That's funny.
I think you're in over your head.
Love diva. Winky face. I got so... That was like 6 loot boxes in. That was 6 loot boxes in, by the way. I am very lucky. Like, I like that. Oh, that's so sweet. That is really cute. Salty. I'm salty. Balmochi, that is so good. I'm very proud of you. I'm also trying to lose weight. Look at us. Look at us. Cunts. Not some cunts. That's how I want Junker Queen to drill inside me. What? Who said that? Who said that?
I've died a hero and lived
And
long
gay.
enough to become the villain.
Oh, I smash. You're also gay, darling, and I appreciate. I was shook it. I did not think Soldier 76 was gay. I love that for him. What the fuck is this, and why does he have a penis on display? That's insane.
What's an aimbot?
What's the name of butt? Conte! Can't start playing over. Conte, I got the pillow. 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 I got the pillow. I got the pillow. The fuck is this? What the?
She shoots, she scores.
Fuck you, Tracer.
What's this about?
I said this on Cat Stream the other day. When Tracer gets added to Overwatch, I'm quitting the game. Yes, needs to be done. Not feeling so healthy and wanted to get back to being active. I am very proud of you, darling, for doing that for yourself. That is really good. That is really, as long as you're healthy, as long as your body is functioning the way it should. That's what matters. Oh, I love papaya. I love Echo skins. I think hands down,
It's your lucky day.
Echo. Ooh, that's cunt. That's hard. I think Echo hands down has the best skins in the entire game. Hands down. Hands down, chat. Sure. Okay, I got it. I got something related to Moira. Slay. You know what I could have gotten in a loot box? The skin that I had to pay my money with my money. She's cute. Your body next to mine. Two. Cunt. Cool it down. Wait. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Then right? It's better than yours. That's what he's doing. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Then right? It's better than yours. Then right? It's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge my... I know the entire choreo. It's actually insane. I showed it to Robin, and I actually forced them to like... Slide! Thank you, Chia.
Bring the
Slide!
noise. Bring the ruckus.
La Boo Boo. That's a La Boo Boo. That's a La Boo Boo. When do I get a legendary? I'm 8 of 20. Well, that's fucking depressing, man. Does this mean I'm going to get another 2 legendaries? How many do I have? I have 31. Someone does the math and tell me if I'm going to have another one.
Happy New Year.
Please.
So dramatic.
So I like her voice. Oh, her voice actor is very sexy. No weirdo, Frankie. She is extremely attractive. Oh, legendary! I'm being lucky. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? I'm not being lucky. Oh. This is the time where you guys are like, Frankie, no. Frankie, no. I don't know, guys. Would you... Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Chad, hear me out. You wouldn't? You wouldn't, Chad. I think I would. I think I would. We all know you're... Some people don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? Because baby, you're a firework.
Minds must change hearts, And hearts must change minds.
That's cute. Yeah. There's no point in saying no. Can either you or Dante please change your fucking colors? You're both mods and I'm going insane. Please change your color. Maybe you're a furry. We all know you would. I would. I just can't resist the big like his tongue is quite, you know, on there. It's the tongues for the tongues. It's the tongues for me. Can you guys change your colors? I'm not even playing. What is this? Why are they forcing Roadhog on me? That is insane. That is insane. What the fuck is that?
Go and sit down.
I'm sat. I'm sat. You're only waiting for this moment to arise. Nice, that's cunt.
You will regret your insolence when I free
Smash.
the Kraken.
Yeah, smash. Absolutely. Cunt! Yar! Love that. Love that. Now let's keep it difficult for her. Please! I need to wear glasses for a reason. Oh, I got human soldier! Soldier? No, I got human, I have the skin. I bought the skin. He's so hot.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
Auga! Auga! That's disgusting. Well, I am a furry after all. Morgen at your service. Roadhog main arc incoming. No, I think I would more... I think I would more easily, become a Junker Queen main. I don't play tank. Asking me to change who I am kind of... Can we... Olha a língua.
So why even bother?
Olha as coisas que tu dizes. Ainda me vais... Oh, that's so cute! Olha as coisas que tu me dizes e ainda me vais cancelar. Olha as coisas que tu me dizes e ainda me vais cancelar na internet. Olha, olha. What the fuck is this shit?
I'm working.
Ah! I love that! She's so cute.
Cool it.
Cool! Wait.
Cool it.
Down, 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 my pretty bad bitch, you make a bad bitch glitchy. Fine. Liberated. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, olha a língua. Sure.
Profanity filter
He is so funny. Paul is so funny. Except when he's like literally up in my ass. That's not so funny. What the fuck is this?
There's no I in team.
Damn right, Roadhog. Tell them again.
Merry Christmas.
Why is it when he says it is so funny? Merry Christmas. Why is it so funny when he says it? That's cunt. That's cunt. I like it. Me gusta muchísimo. Holy. Another one. Cool. I am, however, on a Reaper arc. I am indeed. That's sick. Phantasma. I know that word. That means ghost. You guys lied to me. I was not going to get to. I like it.
Happens to the best of us.
Oh my god, I saw the funniest TikTok with this. I saw the funniest fucking TikTok with this line. Hold up, let me go find it. Hold up, let me go find it. Let me pause Spotify. Let me pause Poopify. Pull up. Pull up, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Did I find it? I did. It helps that this person, I commented, we follow each other on TikTok, and they had like a recently viral video, and I happened to comment when it was just like early on, so I can easily like find them Where is it? I swear it was her. I swear it was them. I don't know the pronouns, unfortunately. Where is it? It was so funny. Their videos are so fucking funny. Wait. Which one was it? Guys, I can't find it. I'm going to kill myself. Oh, it was this one. Hold up. Wait, you guys can't hear it, can you? Desktop audio, properties, device, XM4. Hold up, hold up. This was so funny.
Step rider. Happens to the best of us.
He missed his ult. I don't know. I thought it was really. I was watching it last night because I keep getting notifications for this comment. Wait, this is so funny. Wait, I'm going to show you this video because their videos are really funny. Somehow, I comment. What did I comment saying? I commented saying casually catching a vibe mid-match. And, like, apparently people find that is funny. People find that funny. All I said is he was catching a vibe. And he was, look. Anyways. Their videos are really funny. Go follow Bloopa. They also stream on Twitch. With Bloopa_. So go follow them, Chad. I beg you. Please do it. They're funny. This song, I made a thirst trap to that song because I thought it was really hot. I think we should do more thirst traps. I would really rate it if you did more. Not you have to do them for me, but you know, I think you should. I think you should. I think you should. Why not? Why not? Tell me. Dipstick. Lol. TikTok.
I got you something.
Boom. I'm watching. Love Diva. Where's my legendary? What the fuck is his skin, man? What the fuck is his skin, man?
Life and death balance on the edge.
Shut up. I know. Kung Fu. Oh, she's not doing this. She's doing this. Yeah, she's doing that. Okay. Where's my legendary? Yeah, she's such a good girl for me. I'll make them for you. Oh, yeah. You're also such a good girl for me. Guys, look at me and tell me you wouldn't let her. Yeah, she's looking right at me, guys. Yeah, we're meant to be. We're meant to be. Like, look at her. Oh, she's so hot, cool, and collected. I love her. And when she antis on her ult, absolutely hot.
Self-assessment. Lonely rolling ball.
Lonely rolling ball. That's insane.
Dead or alive.
Oh, that's funny. That's fucking funny. That's funny. Does the ball say lonely? What is this? It's like purr. Yeah, he's just like purr. Yeah, that's what's up. Purr. Sure. Is he singing Good Luck Babe? Oh, good luck, babe. He's singing Good Luck Babe. Listen. Come find enough. He's singing Good Luck Babe. I hear it inside of my mind. Good luck, babe. Well, good luck. He's singing Good Luck Babe. Yep, he did it. Yep, he did that. He's a chaperone stan. I knew it. This is my legendary. Oh my god, 2 more? I think Con lied to me.
You must make an ally of your fear.
I'll make a man out of you.
You must make.
He's a Moana. He's Moana. That's not Moana. That's Mulan. Oh my god, wrong fucking movie, Frankie. He's a Mulan stan confirmed.
You must make.
I don't know how. This is cute, but I don't know how to feel about it. Is it Cardboard Diva? Oh my god, please. Okay, we got the legendary now. If it's shit. If it's shit, I am invading Blizzard's headquarters. I'm not. I would never do that. I would never do that. I don't want to get in trouble. Two legendaries! That's crazy. I am very lucky today. No, this is cute. I don't like Tracer. She's ass. What the fuck is this? Okay, now this is ass, chat. This is actually ass. I like the spray. I don't know where I would put it though. Here, maybe? This is cute, I will admit it. But I don't play her, so it's like, whatever. Can I get another legendary? Wee!
Cheeky.
Shaky. I hear Zoe saying this a lot. Shaky.
You
Oh my
tested
god,
my
there are
patience.
ads now. So many ads. I swear, Twitch. I mean, I think I put them for like every 30 minutes. Another legendary. What the fuck is this, man? I am getting a lot of legendaries today, but the skins just ain't it. They just ain't it.
I've seen worse.
You are a royal pain. Can I get another legendary? Maybe like a Juno? Oh, they don't put Juno ones in here. Okay, come on. 7 is my lucky number. Come on. Well. I don't have all day. That's cute, though. But I like all of mine.
You're mistaken.
Sure. Boring. That's cute. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't play her, but
Guess we'll do this the old-fashioned way.
hot smash. Making a splash. I need to buy the battle pass.
D.
Wait, whilst ads aren't going, I'm going to get some water. And I'm going to invite Kun to the party. Sup, chat? Do you trust
What are
me?
you thinking?
What are you thinking?
Do you trust me?
Oh, sultry smash. Did I just
Do you
fuck it up?
trust me?
Oh, I just fucked it up.
Have some Lucy O-O's!
Have some Lucio O's. Another legendary? Oh, for fuck's sake. I think I had way too many legendaries, but they all suck.
Let me swap these out for ice skates.
Lol. My son is playing games, I swear. Okay, I have one more.
It's in the bag.
Labu Mercy. Well. I don't know. This was kind of a flop. Welcome back from ads, guys. What the fuck is this? You didn't miss anything. This was a bit of a flop. That's cute. We're not doing solo queue anymore. And that's on per. I can't believe that he didn't answer. Conde. DC. Right now. DC right now, bitch. Bitch. DC right now. Don't you dare, Ara Ara. I can see her in Discord. Don't you dare, Ara Ara. Literally don't. Can you at least say something?
Yamateki decide.
That's the wrong person! You're not tinted. Hi! Everyone say hi to Kondo. Or don't. I don't know. Did you see the shitty ass loot boxes I had?
I was playing.
Wow.
I saw the Roadhog one.
Thanks. Who the fuck is this? I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm just a little bit shocked that they're using real. Oh, is that the VA? Is that Cassidy's VA? Is Luca Cassidy VA? Not me being like, who the fuck is that? That is not Cassidy's VA. Yeah, that's Matthew Mercer. Who is this? Who is Luca? Is this an Overwatch player? I know Overwatch. I don't know Overwatch players. I know Valorant players. Luca Overwatch. Who is this? I'm curious. Play like Luca, win like Luca. I do not know who this person is. I apologize if I was disrespectful. I am really sorry. I did not mean to be. I'm looking at boobs right now. Okay, let's play. Let's warm up. Fuck this shit. How many more do I need for placements? Silver 3. I need set 8, 9, 10. I need set 8, 9, 10. I need 3 more. And I'm silver 3. That's actually insane. I hate my life. Anyways,
Look at my profile.
Why? Do you know? That's insane, darling. Well
Look
done.
at the rank.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to kill myself today. Will we even be able to play?
Yeah. The white match but still play.
How am I so far away from you? Do you know what? I think you'll start playing and you're going to regret it. Because you're doing so well, I don't think you'll want to... You shouldn't play with me.
Trust me. Trust me. My last few... The only games I had was my placements. Since I finished my placements, has gone downhill.
I don't know, darling. I think it will be worse if you play with me.
The only games I've won was literally Stadium. I've not won a single comp game apart from my placements.
I don't know, darling. I think it will be worse. These maps are terrible. Why is Spotify not playing? I don't know. I kind of like Suravasa lately. I'm gonna vote Suravasa. We'll see.
I'm actually gonna...
Oh, shit. Okay.
There
Hey, what's wrong with it? If a girl enjoys it.
Do you?
The new one, yeah, I like it.
Ew. You have problem.
Yeah, I play Overwatch.
Slay.
The fuck? Can you speak, please?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed, really. Not us. Look at us, crazy girls. Look at our purple banners and everyone else is just like shit.
Pop up.
Pop up. We are basically just... Oh my god, you're crazy at May. 61. Crazy.
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
K-pop, demon,
Like
hunters.
Did you know that centipedes
You
can prey
came
15
at a
times
bad
their size?
time, and you just crossed the line.
I'm advising
You want to
my
get
prey
wild?
not to test
Are you 12? That's insane. I play with that El Polo 19. Oh, fuck off. What? Cope. Cope. What are they saying? Are they in the enemy team? Why is my sound being a fucking bitch? I forgot I have to swap. I can't play Overwatch with these.
What is it now?
Yeah, they're in the other team.
Cure for all the tales.
The surgeon just killed me, and that's one of them. Can we shit on them, please?
Time for a fight. Make me proud.
To be honest, I'm just going to mute. I actually don't feel like fighting with people on Overwatch anymore. It's actually like, it gets me to a state that I just don't want to play this game anymore. And that happened with Valorant last time, and I'm not going to give them that.
They're pushing the barricade.
You're broken. May I? You cannot
Sorry.
escape me.
Papa. There's I can't play with these headphones.
Repairing your cellular makeup. A taste of poison.
They switched to fire against the sword.
Oh my god, my sound is being a fucking bitch. I need to swap to my earphones.
I must recharge. Enemy located.
Remember, Boozy, my ultimate
I don't have heal.
I offer something more. Nothing remains. You will be
Oh my god, my sound sucks.
Ruination is imminent.
I need to swap.
Heal you yet. Be nurtured.
Oh my god, Shadow, I'm so sorry for the shitty sound quality.
positioning underway.
You're broken. May I? Your team has taken the lead.
Break the bubble.
This ends now. Have a nice day.
This is a terrible placement.
Let's get back to basics.
Viable progress. Need a moment to recharge.
What that? Did you make him upset for the solo ult?
For the parched.
Ooh, Sojourn. Yeah, he's just mad about the K-pop
I'm
Demon
reloading.
Hunters thing. For some reason. They're just mad over the K-pop Demon Hunters thing because apparently you can't like K-pop Demon Hunters. It's a problem.
A cure for all that ails. My ultimate is ready. Surrender.
Yeah, they're just mad at me. Yeah, fuck you.
Pain is inevitable. Eyes open now. No mother's kindness. I see a hostile.
Oh, my sound is a bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I need to go. I need to go. Why are they so mad?
Now, to start anew.
5 limbs. That's funny.
I offer something more. What is it now? Ruination is imminent.
We have the robot. Time to move.
Move here if you wish to be healed.
Can I see you? Okay.
Repairing your cellular makeup. Be cautious. A sip for the parched.
Get out of my face.
I may have T-Bag them.
Ojito.
They're not gonna see it. Because I didn't kill them.
Hello.
Well done.
Forward spawn activated. Your end is within my reach.
Behind.
Be nurtured. Let us proceed. Lending a hand.
Tactical needed.
I am on fire.
Did they swap to Farah?
Approaching the final destination. Pain is inevitable.
Far low.
Surrender to your mother.
What an ult. What an ult.
Big stanger lat.
I'm GGing. Nice try. Sure. Sure. Shibao. Shibao. Wait, I need to. Why does he make me leave the group? That's so annoying. Hold up, I need to disconnect and reconnect to my earphones. Well, Bluetooth. Is that the right one? I can't hear anything. Hello? Oh my god, it sucks. Hello?
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 Hi, I can hear. I don't know. Okay, so the problem is with my Sony headphones, the sound keeps like stuttering at points. Like when the sound goes really high up, it stutters. And then with my XM5s, I can't be on VC because my entire desktop sound goes like muffled, which is really stupid. Also, I'm going to avoid those other two because fuck those bitches. Hamter and that one. So I don't know what to do. Can I go to the toilet? Do you want to entertain?
You can go to the toilet. I will not entertain.
Okay, I'll put chat. I'm going on BRB because I really need to go to the toilet. I really need to go to the toilet. Also, I can't hear Spotify. Oh, it's on my. Oh my god, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'll be RB. I'll be RB, chat. I'll be RB. I'll be RB. I'll be RB. Hello, Chatteroo. Wait, what's happening? Oh, chat, I ordered food, so wish me luck that it doesn't happen between whilst we're in a game. Let me mute the music for me. For me, myself, and that's all I got.
Vote for a map.
That's all I got in the end. Junkertown. It's better than nothing.
Who's voting for Busan?
I don't know, man. They want snipers, apparently. To be honest, you can have snipers in Junkertown as well. But I think... Oh, thank God. Thank the fuck. Thank the fuck!
Select your hero.
Why is my game so loud? Why is me game so loud?
Choose heroes to ban.
Choose heroes to ban. Widow. Cassidy. Soldier. Sojourn? Okay, ball. Why are we banning Wu Yang?
Oh no.
Oh my god, I can't hear you now.
Meow,
Can you
meow,
speak?
meow, meow.
Rakoti, welcome in, darling.
Welcome to
How are you? Again? How are you again? Totally didn't see you earlier. How are you? Welcome back, Dulce. Thank you, Cuppy. Everyone is live. I know! It's so exciting. I love it. Love potatoes. Do you want to get hated again?
I'm just saying I love potatoes.
Love cabbage.
I said potatoes
How are you, Rick?
because the enemy is called potato.
Humanity is shackled.
Oh,
I hold the key.
I didn't see that.
I have not come
Sorry,
to
my bad.
save, but to empower.
Potato.
Potato,
Everyone
potato.
is live today. Oh my god. Rick T, did you see Lil's Hear Me Out? You missed my streams. I was live last week. You know what? It's the thing of
considering adoption
because I
Maybe
stream
one day,
on
when I settle down.
because I stream on Fridays and Saturdays. It's such a long time in between streams, and like I really wish I could do something about it. Also, that is so sweet of you. I really appreciate that, darling. I know that is such a long time. When I tell you, I had to plan this out so well because I don't have the time. Like I work. I have to go into the office twice a week. I mean, I don't have to, but I do like going into the office. And then I have gym in the mornings. When I tell you, it's like
I must recharge.
it's literally impossible. It does feel like an eternity, and I'm so sorry.
Behind you.
What the fuck are you playing at? I am so dead. Why do you have 400 healing?
No, my apologies. A sip for the parched.
Thank you.
Greetings.
Threat neutralized.
Enemy location.
Junker Queen mentioned. But yeah, it's such a long time between streams. I wish I could stream more. I do have a surprise incoming. I do. Oh my god, potato.
I'm sorry.
Area denial.
Your end is within my reach. My apologies.
Over here.
A cure for all the tales.
I do have some. I was waiting for your one, and it doesn't disappoint. On the Hear Me. You heard me. Mine was kind of kook. Actually, I'm saying this. I was seeing everyone else's, and I was worried. I definitely didn't want. Oh my god, you're such a good girl. Yeah, you're such a good girl. Yeah, stop me. Stop me. Stop me. Come on, do it. Do it. Do it. Come on. Yeah, I know. You're such a good girl, baby. Come on. Yeah, I know. You're a good girl. You did well on that. You did well. Ah, I love this woman! Anyways. I was seeing, like, Jerry's. Jerry's was crazy good. Oh my god, I jumped out. And I was just like, mine is so mild. But no, y'all liked it. Y'all liked it. It was funny. I loved it. I wasn't there to see it.
Be nurtured.
Because I was out with a friend. Dwayne immediately sent me the reaction, the clip, and it was crazy. I loved it. Fade me made me feel, you know.
Hello.
Made me feel good about myself. Mine was a little bit crazy. But I would! Hear me out. He's attentive. He's attentive. Where is he? Oh my god! No, 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 no!
Is he done?
Roar. This is a mess. Dreamers and you cooked. Oh, which one was Dreamers always cooks with their hear me outs? Always. They have really good hear me outs. Really good ones. Can I ult on point?
Surrender to your mother.
This ends now.
Come on, you're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. No, Sojourn, don't interrupt my cunnilingus. Don't interrupt my cunnilingus. Don't interrupt my cunnilingus. Come on. Come on, yeah, girl. You're doing so well with that. Yeah, you're so good. Look at that. Look at that. You're such a good girl. Yeah, that's what's up. No, that's not for you. This is for the girls only. Which one was Dreamers? They all cook with their hear me outs.
Score 0-0.
Juno swap.
Switching sides. Prepare to attack. Select.
Bringing sexy back.
Wow.
Mwah! Homie! Homie! Don't listen to him. That's okay because I'm overcompensating. That's okay. I mean, that's okay because I'm a healer with a Juno. Thank you so much for the resub, darling. 6 months. Oh, we're so due that, baby. We're so due that, baby. We're so good. We're so. How are you, darling? Is it morning for you? Don't listen to him, especially on attack. Although they might. The Kiriko could be good because of the antis, but she hasn't been landing the antis though.
Yeah, she's not getting antis. She got antis twice last match. Plus, they're
Can
not
you
doing
speak?
enough damage
I
for.
can't really
I
hear
am
you.
speaking.
Oh my god.
Hello.
I know, darling. I just can't hear you very well. It's my fault because I swapped.
They landed Dante's twice last match.
Okay, I get it. Chat gets it because like I increased your volume, so chat hears a lot now.
Oops.
It's okay, you didn't know. Yeah, it's morning. Not amazing.
Oh shit. Killing the tank source.
Peekaboo.
Oh,
I'm going out again though. You are? Where?
No mother's kindness. There's a test subject. Come to me.
Sorry, potato. This is a terrible spot to be in! This is a terrible spot to be in!
Casa is half.
To be honest, we shouldn't play Juno with a Doom, though. I won't lie to you.
Be nurtured. I need healing.
And how are you? 20 banana. Happy 20 bananas, Queen. You love bananas.
I've dealt with
Queen,
cynics
tell me your
before.
hear me out.
Let's get the payload going.
Your end is within my reach.
Someone on top, and I can't do anything with this.
I offer something more.
There's someone behind me. Brigitte? Oh, I'm stuffed, man. Yeah, I might need to change as well. Thank you. I might need to change. Or is it the DPS? No, it's the DPS fault. It's a DPS fault, I won't lie to you. Why do we have a tracer with a doom? Please tell me. Who am I healing?
Go help the tank, help the tank, help the tank.
I'm trying. I don't have heals left.
I see a hostile. A cure for all the days. You're broken. May I?
Crazy.
Be nurtured. Grant me an ember. Surrender to your mother.
Come on, don't enter. Oh, they waited that one. Oh!
With a punch.
Oh, he swapped. Good job. Good job. GG's. Good job. Counter? How else are you supposed to play the game? My hear me out. Yes, your hear me out. Who's your hear me out? Huh? Tell me your hear me out. It's happening. Yeehaw. It's happening. What are they talking about? Okay, 2 more. Let me check my delivery status. They're still making it. It's between 10:15 and wait, 10? No, my food is due between 8:15 and 8:45. Wow, that literally tells me when my food is going to get here. Do we get another one in?
Yep.
Kovu from Lion King 2. I'm Googling that. I'm quite scared now. There's a second movie? Do you know what? He's a lion. Kovu was in Lilula's Hear Me Out. I'm asking what your Hear Me Out is because Lilula, she's streaming right now. Lilula did a community Hear Me Out today, and Kovu was there. It was like literally the second one. That's not a Hear Me Out. I know you can give me better than that. I know you can give me better than that. I know you can. What's your Hear Me Out? Give me like a really nasty Hear Me Out. Really nasty, Queen. Really nasty. Like, I need scrumpalicious. Do you know what I'm saying? Scrumpy. That's what I need. I need like devastatingly gruesome. I know you can do it. I know you can. Midtown, man. No? It's quite divided. I don't like Paraíso. Paraíso. Oh, we're playing with the other tank. No, is it the same tank? It is, isn't it? Yeah, we're playing with the same tank.
So.
Well, I can't endorse him again.
Select heroes to ban.
Rhine? Ball. Can we ban Symmetra, please? Oh, Sombra's a better pick, isn't it? Why are we banning Wu Young? Why are we banning Wu Young? Can you explain to me? Why are we banning Wu Young? Someone explain to me real quick. I don't get it.
Sorry, I was on
Portugal,
phone.
caralho, cocas! Ah, Portugal, caralho! That's what's up!
I've got the best cockers
Portugal, caralho!
figurines on WhatsApp.
Nice. Nice. Vamos, caralho. Sorry. Con, please say something. Because he's OP.
Oh, that'll be so funny if they left. Actually.
No, it was cockers. GG's, guys. That was so funny. Culpa. That was so funny. That was so funny. What's my predictor right now? Silver 2. Wow! Am I that bad? He's OP. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Surely not.
Vote for your map.
Neither. I don't like Speranza. I love my country, but I don't like Speranza.
Just
May I
because
get
you
back
said
to you
that.
after a little more sleep? I will be mad at you. Hey, Google. Better start running. You better.
On Saturday.
4:51 a.m. Go back to sleep right now. Hi, Kato. Aren't you streaming right now? Do you want to play? We're playing comp. Wait, aren't you streaming?
Choose hero bands.
She read it out.
Did you raid out to Lil? Please tell me you raided out to Lil. And please tell me she told you all about her hear me outs. How was stream? How was Sandra Rock? I was so happy to see you playing Sandra Rock. Okay, what's this? Symmetra. Who counters Ryan? Real quick. Please.
Ram.
Oh, Dreamers is live. Oh my god, Cad. Okay, Chad. I dropped into Dreamers DMs. I haven't spoken to them about playing with Cad, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Cad, we have to speak to Dreamers about playing co-op Coral Island. Chad, if you haven't played Coral Island, I know you guys love Stardew Valley. So, this fucking map, man. So you guys will love Coral Island. You should. That's my favorite farming sim. I have like 300 hours on it. It's actually insane.
Does it work the same way as Stardew on co-op?
Yeah. You don't have. I don't think you have the separate houses though.
Humanity is
Because the space isn't as large. I haven't really played multiplayer. I haven't played multiplayer, so but I think it's the same house that you can upgrade. I'm pretty
So
sure.
my
it
mothers
is.
are gonna have a house together. Finally.
I think you and I should play when I don't want to play Overwatch and you do. I think in you don't want to play Baldur's Gate. I think we should play Coral Island. So have you had dinner? It's not running on your PC properly.
Me now. You're one of my finest experiments.
How come? Maybe I can help. I'll be back later. I get more sleep. Mwah. I love you. Thank you so much for the resub again. That is very sweet of you, darling. I really appreciate it. But have a nice sleep. And I'm sorry. See, Queen, you shouldn't come here when it's still really early AM because I scream a lot. So that wakes you up.
Over there. Big stanger lat.
Oh yes, Junker Queen Mummy. Oh yes, yes, yes. Oh, we're gonna climax together, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep you alive, baby. I'll keep you alive. And you're gonna treat me like the good girl that I am? Yeah, you will. You will. I know you will. I know you will. I've got a health pack just to keep you alive. I will keep you alive, but I can't heal you behind this. I can't heal you behind the thingies. No, I can't. I'll keep you alive. You're a mystery to me as well. Yes, you are, baby. I'll keep you alive. Yes, baby. I'll keep you alive. Come on, come on, come on. Get her. I know you can do this. You're a witch. I know you can kill him. I'm so sorry I failed you, Mommy Joker Queen. Night. It's lagging no matter what. They optimized the game for the 3 series though. For like lower engines. They did. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. The problem is the Nintendo. That's a whole ass drama, and honestly, I can't blame the players. But oh, shit killing right now. But there's no Nintendo key either. They haven't released a game on the Switch. I'm pretty sure they haven't. And like the game was on Kickstarter. It was a whole thing. And like people bought the game thinking they were going. I think they will release it on the Nintendo. They just haven't. But now that we have the Nintendo 2, they might. To be honest, I think they were just waiting for the Nintendo 2. The problem is, older players have the Nintendo one.
Need a moment to recharge.
Anyways, we'll sort it out.
Surrender to your mother.
Get us out of this nasty corner, please.
Grant me an ember from
Thanks,
your
Dad.
hearts.
Yes, Mummy, I will kneel before you. You're so hot. Look at you carrying. I do need to keep. I do. Yeah, you're so hot for that, Mummy.
Hello there. Hello. Over here.
Where's Junker Queen? Oh, hi there you. Hi, gorgeous. Show me your boobs. Your constant harassment of the female gender makes me. I am no better than a man. Sure, free kill.
Be nurtured. Over here. Sure. Join me.
No one can hide from my sight.
With the payload. For the mission. I see a hostile.
Come on, baby, you can kill him. No, baby, don't die for me. Don't die. Don't die for me. Don't die for me. Stay alive, baby. Stay alive. Junker Queens. Yeah, you're doing so good, baby. You're doing so good. Kill that man. Kill that crazy man. No! My Junker! I knocked my head. Ow.
Join with me.
Are you going to eat, Kato? Help. Thank you. Oi! Ah, you're so sexy when you say oi in that accent. My type is Australian women, definitely. That was homophobic. I was gooning and he stopped me. You're dealing so much damage, it's actually insane.
Now, to start anew.
Why am I so far away?
I am ready to unleash coalescence. My ultimate is ready to be unleashed. Enhancing your vitals. Surrender to your mother.
Barrier has been overwhelmed.
Queen. Why is this spot so hard, man?
Why are we still running Widow?
I don't know. I'm stunned.
Fuck.
My apologies. Your assist. Hello. A taste of poison.
No, I fucked up my orb. Can you heal me? Kitty.
Ruination is imminent.
What?
Do not cannot heal me yet.
Barrier is gone.
Good ult. This corner is so fucked up.
Evolution is a painful path to walk. A cure for all the tales.
Stop goofing off and move that payload.
Your end is within my reach.
This ends now.
How?
Area denial. This ends now. Target down.
How? I'm gonna. Are you going to have dinner?
60 seconds remaining.
Don't apologize. You're fine. You had stream. Even if you didn't have stream, that's also fine.
Receive my aid.
Now go get him.
Surrender to your mother.
Fuck.
They finally got off their We're running out of time. Keep attacking. I'll be right behind you. I'm Dinah Zyka. I'm under attack. Boosting your damage. We need to keep the payload moving forward. Get in there.
I can touch.
Let the kitsune guide you.
And a payload. Good job.
Minor perk unlocked.
I'm here to help.
This ends now.
Since when do they have Life Weaver?
A few rounds ago.
No.
I was rocked out of the payload.
And I went sideways. Sorry. That's good. That was a good push. That was a good push. Look at our healing
They
map.
get too many
They're
kills. Though.
dealing. Sorry?
They have too many limbs, too much damage as well.
Yeah, they have too much damage. It's insane. I swapped to Mercy out of like despair. Maybe like I did get that last resin, which was really good.
That last rest saved the game.
Yeah,
saved the game,
literally.
made us push a bit further, yeah.
Yeah, that was my hope.
Especially because she had ult after.
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
Pre-mission checklist complete. Now it's time for the good bit.
If we do this right, they won't even know what happened.
Puka puka. Puka puka.
Hello.
You're so cute. Do a trophy. I want. Is it battle? It is battle pass, isn't it?
I believe so. Or it's in the bundle, maybe. I'm not sure. Might be in the bundle.
Please, mystery. No, I preferred you when you were Junker Queen. I could flirt with you.
Flirt with the Simone, man.
I need kills. Me and the entire team, to be honest. No.
A cure for all the tales.
Too strong. They're too strong, man. It's BP emote. I can't wait to have it. I need to Hopefully it will be by next payday. Hopefully it will.
Evolution is a painful.
They're
Hello
too
there.
strong, man. What do we
Objective
do?
lost.
Why are we playing snipers? I get it, it's defense, but like,
Enhancing
it's
your
not working.
That's much better. Be nurtured.
Is that a...
One more back.
Oh my god, he's getting too much damage in.
Behind you!
I'm under attack. What is it now?
Barrier unsuccessful.
Take the tank, take the tank.
I offer something more.
Stay out of my way.
We can win this. I think we have a more dynamic team that they do. Can you...
I'm trying to keep the tank up, but it doesn't stop taking damage.
Okay, we're in their push, we're in their push. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We're in their spawn!
Thank you. Clear out.
This end.
Oh, support's down. Fuck!
Get in there, Bob.
That's a good ult.
Progress is seldom won with
I think.
ease.
At least he's holding the
Hello.
payload.
Yeah, literally.
And he got that tank as well. Love it.
Hello. Enhancing your vitals.
He's getting too much fucking damage and it's unbearable.
Keep watch. Your end is within my reach.
Come on, do it again.
Do something.
Surrender to your mother. Be nurtured.
Ashe is not even caring that Bob is
Icon.
behind her.
Let the kitsune guide you.
This is impossible. This is actually impossible. Why did I lose that? Okay, I'm trying to hold up, but I can't. They're too strong.
Payload has reached the checkpoint.
Just tis what it is, innit? Tis what it is.
Great minds are always
They're
persecuted.
too strong.
That Sojourn is a problem.
A
Yeah.
sip for the parch.
Ooh, counter Sojourn.
Eyes open now.
Anyone that can get rid of her, please.
Lol. I'm gonna die.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
Barrier is nearly spent.
Out of despair, do I play Wu Yang
Now,
to knock them back?
to
Okay, I'll try.
start anew.
You know what they say? Just go with the flow. Ride the wave.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? No, GG. Couldn't even do anything, to be honest. Our tank just gave up. He didn't swap? GG's. Avoid. That was a bit of an unfortunate one. They were just too strong.
Yeah, this
Look.
fucking...
Yeah, she was great.
Rails empowered and ready to fire.
Did she just blink forward? Against the fucking Soj?
Yeah, look at her cornering us. I was just there out of despair, mate. So what do I do? Because my food's still not out for delivery. What do I do?
Queue for another one? Is it
Should
far
we do
from
quick
you?
plays?
We can, I don't mind.
Let's do quick plays. Ooh, should we do stadium quick plays? Or is that too overwhelming? I
not?
think that's... Okay.
I'm fine with anything.
Huh? Let's do stadium quick plays. I'm like, pss, 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 the cat. Pss, pss. To be honest, we do have to go back to calm because I have one more game for placement. And then I stop playing Overwatch for the rest of my life. Okay. Quer saltar? The thing is, we're going to play comp afterwards. I'm just like, pss, 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 pss. devastating without me on screen. It is. I have a head. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. That's okay, darling. Hey, don't watch me. Go back to sleep. Literally go back to sleep right now. Please. Please go back to sleep. I think you should. I think you should, my love. I think you should go back to sleep. I think that is the wisest thing you could do for yourself, darling. Look at me. I'm not even screaming. I'm going to scream and you don't want that. Unless you mute me. I don't think you want that. Unless you mute me. And that's what's up. You say that? Tenho de... Às 8 da noite. At 8 p.m. That's okay. Don't apologize. My thing is, as long as we can mod it, I'm fine with it. And as long as we're not like fully on excluding people, which we're not. 8 p.m. That's quite dangerous. Don't do it. I wonder if one day that you'll say that, hey Mike, let's do something crazy.
Now traveling.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to Spotify on my own as well, so I can hear it. Stream deck. Stream a deck. Deck. Oh no, my here. You can be making when anyway you can be hot and that's okay. And it's a night you've been dreaming of. I wanna tell you all my secrets, yeah, free all of the freaky shit tonight. I'm so sorry for the VODs.
It's time
For the VOD people.
First up, get ready for control.
It's a fantasy. What if I want May? No, I don't want May. I don't want May. I don't want May. I don't want May. Smash. Look at this fella. This skin is so hot. It's a fantasy. Hey. We have a butcher. We have a butch. We have a toxic mess, a noob, a platinum support, and a sharpshooter 77.
We're almost ready to get this game started. Now this is going to be a match for the database. Welcome to the armory.
I just do whatever, really.
To gear up.
That's
Everyone
crazy.
could use a little help in the stadium. These are example builds picked by the pros to start our competitors off on the right foot.
Oi! Oi! Why did you do that? Where are you, you little bitch? Where the fuck are you? You fucking bitch. You were...
Almost time for the first round, and the teams are readying up.
Haven't I killed you somewhere before?
Hanging there.
You little bitch.
Looks like it's
The
amateur.
teams have 20
That was
seconds
funny, even
left
Rekti
to prepare
agrees.
for the round.
I've got a few tricks.
My sprays suck for Reaper. Why am I sleepy? I need to wake up at 6 a.m. today. Out of my own will. That was insane.
1.
Don't ever do that.
Capture the objective.
Cloaked in shadow. Okay, thanks. Hi.
The objective goes live in 10.
Death appears.
The objective's online.
A dark step. Death stops for no one. Hello.
Whoppa! Let me in you. Oh, he was after me, and for what? What did I do? What did I do? I did kill him.
Reinhardt's charging through the competition.
Yeah, 50% in. That's good. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Appreciate it. How are you doing? Oh shit, me. That was so hot. That is again. I need a clip of. Okay, that. Ignore that. I'm clipping that. But like, that was the second hottest thing that you have ever done. He is after me. He is after me. We're doing some stadium quick plays because I ordered food and I don't want to risk getting my food. Oh shit. Delivered whilst I am here. You did kill him though. I did kill him. He's mad at that. Oh fuck, they surpassed us. Bitch, 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 bitch. I did kill him though. No way. Someone heal, someone heal. I just want to pop my ult, man. They're already at 90, that's insane. Why were the supports not trying? Yeah, let's blame the supports. I saw a TikTok the other day. Oh my god, it's more and more violence. I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, if you play Overwatch, you would make a really good lawyer because Overwatch if you play a shooter game, you would be a really good lawyer because the best thing that a lawyer, like, you'd be really good as a lawyer because shooter players are really good at pointing the finger at anyone. And that was really funny to me. Excuse me. And that's on cunt. What you want? Okay, I'll go back in the closet. Come on. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That was.
Seen so much action,
I clipped that. That was really funny. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I wanna try it, buy it, lick it, spit it, pull it to the side and get all up in
20
it.
seconds remain before the action begins. Not long now until the teams lock in for the round.
My remix is eat it up for lunch. It's so delicious. That round was so unfortunate.
2, 1. Capture the objective.
I already know what you got going on.
The objective unlocks in 10 seconds.
The ones that do that for you.
Yeah, just coming back.
Shit, I'll go with you, can I? Fun Healy, babes. I was shooting the robot, that's so funny. Ay, that was so stupid! Why did I do that?
What a play by Soldier 76!
I fear we're getting cooked. I fear we're getting
I feel
cooked.
the same.
Sorry?
I feel the same.
Yeah, I fear we're getting cooked. Genji here, Genji here, Genji here.
The enemy's pushing the robot. They're pushed further than us. Fight back!
There is no need to fight.
Moira's making everyone a test subject!
You cannot escape me.
Flanking. Nothing to worry about. Death stops for no one.
They take the bounty.
Good job. sorry. You looked really sad there.
60
Ow.
seconds left.
I need help.
They've almost got the lead.
We're about to catch up.
Good job.
Watch out.
Let the kitsune guide you.
Oh, I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm so done.
Surrender to my will.
Blazing mass.
Die!
Let the push commence.
I've got you in my sights.
You do? No, I'm hidden. Aye! I have a Genji on my ass.
Is never the upper hand.
Bitch! Oh, we were so close, man.
Done. Hey. Die.
Die, die, die.
Let's check the standings.
Where's my food?
0. I can hardly believe my optics when I see stats like these.
Is armor or DPS? I mean, Okirika's not doing that much better in terms of
Next
healing.
up, it's the payload race.
The thing is, they have double our damage. We have
It's time
half
for
of
the
their
teams to
healing.
consult their playbooks.
Yeah, that doesn't work really well, does it? Broke it. Do I need to do a survival kit? That's expensive. Key to my heart. This build is shit. What am I doing? It's even worse. I'm cooked.
Only 20 seconds remain before the action begins.
Zimt! Hi! How are you doing? It's so nice to see you here. How are you? Welcome in. We're doing some... Oh, shit. We're doing some stadium quick plays before my food gets here, because I don't want to risk my food getting here before, like, during my comp games. And then we're going to be playing comp again. How are you doing?
Let's get to it.
Oh, I don't like this mode, man. What was that? Oh, I thought you were the... Ow. What you want? 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 You're distracting me. That's okay. I'll feed you. I'll feed your delusion. Ah! Ah! Ah!
The first checkpoint's clear.
I'm just bopping you.
It can't get much closer than this. Oh, a crushing blow by Reinhardt.
Oh, this is terrible. They're trashing us. Welcome in, Lazy X Gaming. Welcome in. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Had a nice day with my... That's so cute. What did you guys do? I'm getting a halloumi wrap. I'm getting a halloumi wrap with some mozzarella sticks and chips. I'm feeling like I think it comes with chips.
Our team needs to fight hard to
Love the username, Lazy Gaming. Oh my god. How are you finding this season if you play? Oh. How are you finding this season?
I'm on a payload.
Did you play Overwatch? I'm assuming so.
Genji slicing his way to the top.
I'm a terrible DPS, by the way.
In my wake.
I need to buy the battle pass. I really do. Oh! Don't look at me like that. You amaze me. Yeah, it's not good. It's not great. It's not terrible either. Where's me food?
With a vengeance.
Where's just me food? Let's kill this love. I'm going to make this a mistake again. Bitch, 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 bitch. Don't suck me. I didn't. Yeah, that's what's up.
Tank is going for you.
I tried. I tried. We went to our favorite cafe. It's inside a bookstore. Did you get any books? Oh, I love that. If I ever get to own like a business, I would love. I know it's probably not very financially the best decision. I don't believe bookstores are like the best for, you know, making money. I've died 5 times. That's insane.
Our team has to rally together to catch up.
Yeah, they have 3 times our healing and damage. It's so unfortunate.
You hate to see it,
Mind you, that's a platinum player, I think.
keep those chins up.
GG's.
There's always next time.
It would be like to own a coffee shop.
Let's take a look at this highlight.
That is the craziest thing I ever said. Like, I get it, it's quick play. But like, at least try, I don't know. Unless you're like fully on throwing with your team. No, he cooked. Of course, especially if you are one of the worst, that's cooked. Anyways, I would love to own a bookshop with a cafe inside. Did you get any books, Zimt? That has always been my dream business. Seriously, do you like reading? Like a cute cafe with literally a cafe cat. Like a cafe cat, cafe cat, cat cafe, cafe cat, a cafe, a cat cafe bookshop, cafe bookshop cafe. Cat, I'm confused now. Cat coffee bookshop. Cat bookshop coffee. Now cat coffee. I'm confused. Queenie, go to sleep. Queenie, go to sleep. What are you doing this weekend, Zimt? Are you going to a bookshop again? Did you get any books? I think I've watched that 3 times, and I'm so sorry. Don't mind me. I'm like head up in the clouds, and I'm also so distracted. I'm so sorry. I'm on my phone, gang. I'm just trying to like get a look at my delivery, and I don't want to dox myself, so I can't even try. No, I don't want to. Okay, I don't know what to tell you then, darling. You're going to suffer tomorrow.
First up.
Although it's Saturday for you already. I don't think I want to play. This motherfucker stole soldier from me.
Now that's what I call a competitor.
My food is ready. Yeah, Queenie, you're just gonna suffer tomorrow. I don't know what to tell you, darling. I didn't get any books because I'm currently reading Brandon. Oh, I've been meaning to read him for ages. Are you a big Brandon Sanderson fan? I have. Where is this?
Strap in, everyone. The game
I
is
have
about
the
to
Final
begin.
Empire. I don't know if you can see the white book. It's the white book right there in the middle.
Like
I have the Final Empire. It's been there for ages, my guy.
Welcome to the army.
What if I say I'm up to go out
For our teams to work out their strategies.
this early? Are you going to the main city? And I bought the next 3 books of the series in advance a few weeks ago. That's smart. I like that. Committing.
Competitors off on the right foot.
It's the first time. Let me know how you find him. I know I already have the Final Empire, but I think I've been like really scared to dive into him.
That define a build. So competitors must choose carefully.
Because he has a lot of books. It's quite a
Round is
lot.
here.
But oh my god, did you see? I don't know if you I don't know if you've seen it, but in 2020, 2021, man used Brandon Sanderson. All right, hi Brigitte. Used the coronavirus, the panoramic period to write books. Did you see the amount of books that he released during during and after the panoramic? I call it panoramic. I don't like saying COVID.
The armory's closing.
So creative. Okay. I'm so glad you're enjoying. I'm in a bit of a reading slump, so like seeing other people enjoying books makes me so excited. And it's just good. It's just good to see people reading after all. I feel like people don't read enough, you know? I think we should all be smart cookies. I think we should all read. And that includes Monster Smut. If Monsters put your words in. Do you know how the athletes say you should put your exercise minutes in? You should put your steps in. Put your smut in, or not. It's up to you. Because, for example, like, I love reading, but I've been in a reading slump for over a year now. Reading fanfic has helped, like, smut or no smut, has helped me a lot. Like, I still read quite a lot because of fanfic. Aw, fuck you, May. Ow. Can you give me Inspire, please? I'm trapped! I'm on to you. I know she's sucking the life out of me. I'm just shooting randomly, I'm not gonna lie.
Back in the shadows, coalesce.
Say hi, say cheese. Floppy! Hello, my love. Now. I owe me here. How are you, Floppy?
Heroes never die.
For no one.
Those are terrible ults to combo, to be honest. Ah! Yeah, that's karma, bitch. That's karma.
Over here.
That's karma. I've been to, but I started reading more again since. I'm so happy for you. Started with the Hunger Games. What did you think? I love the Hunger Games. Oh my god, it's been. Oh, I'm gonna die. It's been ages since I've read it. I've been meaning to read the newest one. Bitch, 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 bitch. Bitch, bitch, bitch. Are you going to read the newest one? The newest, I think she released the one with Snow, and then the newer one with, what's his name? Katniss's tutor.
I'll go Raleigh for next fight.
I can't really hear.
I'm
Oh my
responding
God.
to.
Rally for next fight.
I'm on my way.
Good. Okay, I'm going to stick to you. Oh my god, we didn't go that far. I'm dead either way. Oh, she's reviving me, Sly.
There's much for you to do.
Oh fuck, I got trapped. I
Do you
couldn't
have
do
a
the attack.
reading goal, Zimt? Why are they after me? I play like shit. No, you're not touching it. Oh, I have my ult as well. How are you, Floppy? Thank you, thank you. Oh, that didn't get me anywhere. That didn't get me anywhere. Pinky Pig. I'm
Massive
sorry,
gone.
Pinky Pig.
Mercy gone.
Tactical visor
Oh, shit, that's so unfortunate. No, you're not touching, you're not touching, you're not touching, you're not touching, you're not touching. Bitch, 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 you're not touching, bitch, you're not. Oh, I'm done. Ah, don't sit on me. I'm not giving up. Die! Die! I'm trapped! I'm trapped! I'm trapped! How are you doing, Fluffy? I hope you're having a lovely day or evening. Gave me the worst book hangover. It is a really good series. Yes. Nice one. Nice one. I already read the new ones. Oh my god, you were quick on that. Well done! Which one was your favorite? What did you think of the end of the Hunger Games? Like the trilogy? What was your opinion? Like do you know about the
What tactics will the
Wait, hold
teams
up.
come
My
with
my
this
driver
round?
has another order before me. Do you know the controversial ending in Hunger Games? Like the boom. Yeah, it's quite controversial in the Hunger Games community. I still don't know how I feel about it. I was very confused on the end at the end of the Hunger Games. I was very confused. I had no idea what was happening. No idea. Then like I had to wait a few chapters to realize what happened. Guys, if you don't want spoilers for the Hunger Games, I mean it has been out for quite a few years, over a decade now. But like mute if you don't want spoilers for that.
We've already seen so much action, and there's still more
The
to come.
second one was so good, right? It was so incredible. I don't know what it is. It's always the second books in like trilogies or just movie or book series in general. They're always so good. Shrek 2, for example.
Only
I know it
20
has
seconds
nothing
left
to
until
do
we
with
kick
it.
this round
But
off.
Shrek 2 is a masterpiece. Well, I think we were talking about Shrek 2 in Cat's stream earlier. I remember being right. I was so confused as well. I had no idea what was going on. And then a few chapters in, and she dies. I'm like, oh. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic, just to realize that, like, 2 chapters afterward.
3,
That was a bit...
1.
That was a bit weird. That was a bit weird. I do need to reread. You're making me want to reread Hunger Games. I just need to read. Point blank period. I need to stop with the Love and Deep Space fanfics. I really do, because that's all I read these days. It's Love and Deep Space fanfics.
The objective goes live in 10.
Stop! Get a job. Leave her alone.
The objective's live.
Come back.
Oh, I'm trapped! He knew I was coming. Okay, I need to stop doing this then. He trapped me. Kill that bitch. Katniss' sister.
Don't expect thanks.
And it was the whole thing because Katniss couldn't guarantee that Gale... Gale's his name. It's Gale, right? Or am I confusing Gale with Baldur's Gate? Oh my god. Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. Who left the game?
You cannot escape me.
They're DPS.
They're
No,
tank.
they're tank. That's sad.
Back.
Because Katniss couldn't guarantee that... It's Gale, right? Couldn't guarantee that... Katniss couldn't guarantee that Gale hadn't been the responsible one. It was just the whole thing. Very confused.
You went through my shield.
I think it was Gale. Yeah, Gale. I just get confused because of Baldur's Gate. Because there's a character in Baldur's Gate called Gale. I'm sorry, I'm playing like shit this round. I have 0 ilms, that's insane. Fanfic reading stream. Probably the next Donathon in like Halloweeny. Kill that motherfucker, I swear to God. I'm confused. I have 1 ilum, wow, thanks. What was I going to say? Good job. Fanfic readings. I think for the next Donathon for Halloween, I'm going to call it Frankie Halloween. Because I'm Frankie. And Halloween is Halloween. So we call it Frankie Halloween. Unless you guys have any other suggestions. And yes, I will be playing a horror game. I will be playing a horror game for the first time. I mean, Overwatch is a horror game, so it's not the first time ever. Because Overwatch in itself is a horror game, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Thank you so much, darling. Enjoy your eatings. Enjoy your rap later. Thank you. I appreciate it. Enjoy your food, darling. It's so nice seeing you here. I really enjoyed it. I really appreciate the lyric. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I would... What did I say about fanfic reading? Reading fanfic? Oh, it would be like written by Chad. It will be written by Chad. But it couldn't have like real life people. It could be like kind of smutty. I wouldn't mind that as long as it's not about real people. Like especially anyone in the community. I think that's what I said.
Only 20 seconds left until we kick this round off.
I think that's what I said. Combien, I will happily read fanfic that is written by someone in chat. That is volunteering to write fanfic that is about... Either they've already written and it's about fictional characters. Can be smutty. As long as it's not like deeply disturbing. Like, you know. Like really disturbing. Borderline illegal as well, you know, like no. If it's smutty, I don't mind. Bonus points for extra gay. Boy love or woman love. Me no care. You good. Oh, they have monkey now. Oh, sorry for ads. Well, their tank is good. He already has 3. Their new tank is good. Yeah, I'm shit. Redeploying. Oh shit! I'll wait until Reki is back from ads.
They lost that point, and we're falling back to objective A.
Where's my food?
10 seconds until the objectives unlocked.
Oh, this Junkrat is doing my head in, man. They already have so many limbs, that's insane. They really turned it around. And where's me food?
Back with a vengeance.
Alright, till shit said
It was a hard fight, but they lose this round.
Well, we were trash.
The score is 2.
We were really trash on that one. Say the word and we go. You can be my frica, girl. The Mercy was VIP. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. I promise that you're smiling, I'll never leave. Carries. Welcome back from ads. Recti, what was I saying? Is it me? I was saying... What was I saying? Oh, I was saying, yeah, I will read fanfiction written, newly written by Chad, or already written by Chad. I would probably ask the mods to check it for me. Nothing disturbing, nothing about real people, no inserts, don't care. Fictional people, can be smutty, nothing disturbing. Yeah, I would probably do that. Definitely do that. I would be down. It would be very awkward. But hey, I've already said to Chad I'm a furry, so it's just like, whatever. There's a fine line between monster fucking and being a furry. And I just have to admit it that I am probably a furry.
The armory is about to close.
Okay, send it to me, Kado. Shouldn't you asleep, my love?
We're at the match
Talk to
point.
me,
Just
baby.
it all.
I don't like this mode. If you want it, girl, come and get it. All this is here for you.
Beware the shadows.
Oh, they saw me.
Flanking.
Behind you.
Your tank is good. I hate him. Girl, I'm waiting for my mom.
Pain is inevitable.
That is funny. I think you should post that on Twitter or like Blue Sky, whatever you have. I think that's really funny. Or she puts that on the stories. That is really funny.
Heroes never
That
die.
is fucking funny. Fuck you, mate. Die! I'm trapped. Shit. No heals? No heals? She's stalking me. She's stalking me. Leave me alone! You little fucking bitch! That was really funny. That was so funny. My rider's nearby. My rider's nearby. Can we let them win? Oh shit, we need to win.
We need to go on that point.
Over there. 冻住，不许走。
Our team needs to fight hard to close the gap.
I have arrived.
You can pick for me.
I need to leave.
It looks like
Shit. I need to leave the game.
the score
Hold up, I need to leave the game.
2. Quite the performance from these superstars.
I need to leave the game. Shit.
Is the food there?
Yeah, the food is here. I need to leave.
Who's ready to start the
Oh my god. Chat, I'll be RB. I'll be RB. Can a mod put that I'm going to be RB because I'm going to get my food downstairs?
Right.
Aye. chat, I actually need to put this on a BRB because I need to go to the toilet as well. So we'll be... I'm exhausted. I'll be right back, chat. I am so sorry. I'm going to play ads as well. When was the last time? 8:40. Oh, no, I won't play ads. No, that was 10 minutes ago. I'll be right back. Hello, chat. We have bad news. One, I'm eating. So as I'm eating, no Frankie Cam. And I have to... That's just my mayo. I have to That's my mayo. That's not me actually squirting. Okay, let me show you. That's not me actually squirting, I promise. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. That's not me actually squirting. See, it's my mayo. Hi, Alpha! Wow, do you have a timing? Do you have a timing, my love? So how are we doing? Thank you for the banana collector. How are you doing? I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. I'm just trying to eat my chips. You have the best timing, darling. How are you doing? It's so lovely to see you here. How has life been? You're pretty tired. What's up? Tell me. What's up? Oh my god, I'm going to solo queue. This is insane. This is actually insane. Have you been busy? Busy? I need water. We're doing some solo queue shenanigans. Today was a lot. Are you at home and resting now, darling? Are you at home and resting? Delicious. Queen!
Now traveling to Canis.
Are you actually going out? Or is there a chance that you could play Fortnite with me after this? Working from home. Working from home since I had someone come over to plan how they would install the AC in my apartment. And it suddenly became a full-on installation. Oh, so they went there just to see and they start installing it? How long does it take for the AC to be, like, installed? Is it, like, all over your home? Or in just one room? And you were working at the same time? That must have been so distracting. And noisy. And noisy, I imagine. Oh, I'm on the train here. I'm just... You're so funny. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, so you are out so early. Fine. What are you doing? It was pretty distracting, to be honest. And very... I can only imagine. Do you have noise cancellation? Cancellation? Oh, I hate all of these. These are all awful. All of them. Oh, can we get a goodbye in chat for Klon because he has to go to bed? Wow. Wow. Okay, Chad, my mayo's gonna squirt again, okay? Not this map, man.
Select your hero.
Oh, this is going to be hell because I am solo queuing. This is going to be hell. This will be hell. Oh my god. Just know I'm going to have to mute chat. I don't really like noise can. That's so fair. That is fair. Have you had anything for dinner? Is it dinner for you? It should be at dinner time, right? I'm gonna say ram, maybe? Sombra? I don't care, it's two of the same type. Good bands, those are good bands. I don't understand the that tank band though.
Traveling to New Queen Street.
Oh, this is gonna be hell, I just know it.
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Alpha, have you been playing the new season? Thank you for the buy for cons in chat, guys. I've been playing the new season, Alpha. That is smart. Did you get... Was it takeaway or did they make it? That is so sweet. They can just go to them and spend the evening with them. That's really sweet.
Humanity is shackled.
Sorry if I'm eating at the same time, Chab. I really have to.
I could have rebuilt you.
Otherwise it will be too late before I go to bed.
and left me a monster.
Hey, freezer pizza. Oh my god.
Creations?
That
I don't know
is
where you
a
live,
matter of perspective.
but mind you, Tesco has like such a good pizza from the pizza company. It is not frozen, it is like refrigerated. 6 quid? I talk about that pizza all the time. Such a good pizza. I love it. 6 quid? What a steal.
I see the enemy.
Please let me win this game. This is my placement. This is my placement. Come on.
Claiming the robot.
Proceed with me.
What a mess.
The weak can fend for themselves.
What a mess.
Hello.
The lead is ours.
This was a triumph. Moragwitch. Over here.
I don't mind the frozen peas and well. That is so sweet. I love that for you, Alpha.
Repairing your
That is so
makeup.
sweet. Do you like spending the time?
Big stanger lap.
I think it's way more valuable to spend time with your papas playing video games, because that's what I do on Friday nights. Are you back home now? Oh shit.
Careful, we're outnumbered. I'm sorry.
Ow.
Effective.
Damn it.
Oh, we had the lead as well, man.
The enemy is pushing their barricade.
Pain is inevitable.
That boy is mine. What? Fucking manga.
Receive my aid. Your assistance is appreciated.
Ow. Where is she?
You cannot. There's a test subject.
Oh, this is a bit of a mess.
A taste of poison. Languish and despair.
I thought I could. I thought I could. Back home. Welcome back home, then, darling. Is it
Progress
sleepy
is
time for you
seldom
soon?
won with ease.
Oh my god.
Experience tranquility.
Hello, I'm sorry.
What was that ult?
Pain is inevitable.
That was a weird ult. That was a very weird ult.
My apologies. Come to me. My ultimate is ready. Join me. Your end is within my reach.
Coalescence is ready. Advance with me.
Surrender to your mother.
Oh, I'm completely missed my ult.
Ruination is imminent.
Bitch.
Can't
Bitch!
show your way out of this one.
What is he trying to do?
For all the days.
Where's the echo?
I see a hostile. Such greed.
Dude.
Join me.
I need. What is this tank doing? What is this tank doing? Sorry, I'll return a bit. We have a hobby that we do together on Fridays, but it starts next week. Now we still had summer vacation. Oh, I love that for you, my love. Really do. Wait. Toggle. Can't lose this game. Surely not. I failed. We are so separated. Our tank was doing so well at the beginning. You're gonna die. Oh, I thought they wouldn't be back in time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I've dealt with cynics before.
It's 10 p.m. here, so maybe.
Group up.
We are so separate. We were doing so well.
Experience tranquility.
They're catching up.
What? Yeah, these are silver games.
Your end is within my reach.
You're in through.
Please only ask for my help.
Hello, brother. Come with us.
Hello. Big stanger lap. You will be renewed.
What is our tank doing? So I'm assuming you have the day off tomorrow, Alpha. Wait, Queen, where should you download? I mean, I guess the thing is that
Eyes open now.
isn't it always bad because you have to play in Europe's? I mean, I can play in Australian servers. I can try and play in your Australian servers.
Surrender to your mother.
Move a single step. Come with us.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
This is the weirdest game I ever played, and we still have 3 minutes of this. Kill the tank, kill the tank, kill the tank. Shit. Leave me alone.
Greetings. Preparing your cellular makeup. Destination is imminent.
Literally leave me alone. This game is so weird. How do we even have the lead? No. I'm gonna die, but you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it! Fuck it! So I guess I'll stay awake.
Evolution is a painful path.
What does he
to
stream?
walk.
Times are always so crazy. I always want to watch my friends. I like my favorite streamers, and I never can because they have crazy hours.
Misery made manifest.
You're not getting these babes. You're not.
Receive my aid. The robot
You're
is
not
in our
getting the lead.
possession. Take caution. Shunish.
Why is he in a closed room? Oh my god.
The weak can fend for themselves. Grant me an ember.
Help! Help! So much skill. So much skill. You were in a closed room with 3 people. That's not skill, that's you being dumb.
Bothersome.
I would, yeah, I would play Baldur's Gate with you, darling. At least we don't have the issue of the servers. A variety streamer, but today we'll play GTA. Oh my god. That's something I should play on stream as well.
A cure for all the tales.
Leave me alone.
A sip for the parched.
No, touch the point, touch the point, touch it, 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 touch it. No way. Well, they are better than us. Do you like playing GTA?
Great minds
Fuck.
are always persecuted.
You could actually won this.
60 seconds. Receive my aid. There's a test subject.
Crazy wolf.
Your fate is in my back in control. You cannot escape me.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Moira.
Surrender to your mother. You're broken. May I? Help me.
My god. Maybe it's the healing that's not enough. Because they do have a lot more healing than we do.
We must stop the enemy from
Oh,
advancing.
GG's. Still a good round though. Still a really good match.
For the parch.
GG's. I will, however, avoid this Doom. He doesn't know how to play in group. Okay, it's going to be like silver 5.
Play of the game.
Don't go in closed rooms with 3 people and you won't die. Why? What was it? You actually have to be joking me, right? You actually have to be joking me. Are you asking me to play Fortnite? Are you I'll go home and play Fortnite. Don't actually do that, darling. Please. How is my mayo all gone and dusted? Guys, I promise this is my mayo squirting. I'm actually depressed at this. Well, it's 1 rank above what I finished last season, silver 3. What are you going to do? You haven't told me that. Sorry, that's just my rap chat. What are you going to do? Unless you're going to dox yourself, otherwise don't do that. You queen. Oh, Alpha, she's not actually going to do that, unfortunately. She doesn't love me enough. My homie doesn't love me enough to cancel her training. Come back home. I'm joking, don't do that. Don't do that. Solo queuing is depressing. Silver.
Now entering King's Row.
We move and we groove.
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
Ow. I knocked me head. You're just walking. I love that. I guess I'm just too tired to pick up on the sarcasm today. Man, I am like so sarcastic all the time and I can't pick on sarcasm. So you are so fine. Ow. Where did that come from? I'm just trying to practice my teleports.
Hello there. Receive my aid.
Ow, he didn't like that, I'm guessing.
Receive my aid.
Are you going to buy any Lego, Queen? Why does my mayo have to make these noises?
Great minds are always persecuted.
I think I'll do one more game and I'll go to bed. Unless...
I gave you hello. The weak can fend for themselves. Languish in despair.
Ow.
My degree. I offer something more.
Motherfucker. I have to stop myself. No. You are hereby forced to go walk around the city.
Progress is seldom won with...
I was escape! I'm solo queuing. How hard is it to find me a game?
Misery made manifest. I'm restored.
Boo.
Big Starlight.
Right the way.
No, so you ran away. Okay, okay, okay. I see how it is. You don't want to say hello to me?
Your strength.
You actually don't want to say hello to me? Oh, you ulted as well.
This was a triumph. Hello there.
That means like if I'm here by the force, that means like what does that even mean? No, you're here by force to go walk around the city.
Over there. Hello.
Dusting off.
That's much better. Help me.
Oh, he was hidden. All along he was hidden. Pesky little thing.
Glad you stuck with it.
I've dealt with cynics before. Over here.
Where is he?
Come and get me.
Hello there.
He just says. Oh, I need heals.
A cure for all the ails. Reckless disregard for life and limb.
Oops.
Surrender to your mother.
Bitch.
Catch me if you can.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Pain is inevitable. Fall I can taste your weakness. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Receive my aid.
I don't know why I'm trying to front a lock through a Foxy! Hello! I love you. Sorry, I'm eating. How are you? I mean, sorry. Thank you so much for the lurk. I appreciate you. Minecraft? Sorry. Minecraft? Since when? Dolce, would you teach me a Portuguese saying?
Select your hero.
I forgot all of them now.
Select heroes to ban.
What kind of thing do you want to know? Yeah, I've never seen him playing Minecraft. I'm a little bit shocked. Oh, Palmier, that's not what I said. Oh, shit. That's not what I said. Portuguese sayings. Okay, I really like this one. It's it means cada macaco no seu galho. I'm going to put it in chat. It means, it literally translates to each monkey on its branch. It kind of says like, it's kind of like mind your business.
Humanity is shackled.
Why would you yell at me? What reason have I given you, darling?
Yet another stretch of cloudless skies and idyllic ocean views.
Is it because I'm playing this fuck-ass game instead of Rivals? Is that why?
Hello there.
Oh my god. I love you so much. How are you, Skimmy? What have you been up to? Rivals. No, I uninstalled it. I would never play Rivals on stream. They're backed by Disney. Which is crazy because I play a Blizzard game. But Disney is a company that is actively in the boycott, on the BDS boycott list. So I wouldn't stream anything backed by Disney because they own Marvel.
I can taste your weakness.
You know I counter you, babes.
Receive my aid.
Sorry, Chad, I'm looking in.
No mother's kindness.
I need to win this game. 2 losses in a row is too much.
Join with me. There's a test subject. Big stanger lad.
My ultimate is ready. Go.
But how have you been? Just got back from work. Well done. Thinking about taking someone to dinner. Is that your girlfriend? I think you should.
Reforming you.
I think you should, darling. Why not?
The Crusaders! Vamos
Heroes never die.
You can't stop me!
Your assistance is appreciated. Join me. Surrender to your mother. Be nurtured.
Oh, shit, I completely abandoned my team. Well. Are there any insults? Sayings? Well, the one I've just given you. It doesn't have to be like an insult, but it can be used quite snarkily, you know? Can be quite snarky if you like. It's just like mind your business. You know, sometimes we have to learn how to mind our business. Like, it can be quite snarky. I would say that. Of course. Bitch! Lol. I was the first person to fall in the pit.
They will learn pain, only glimpsed in myth. Come to me. No mother. Come here for healing. Such grievous wounds.
I am not falling in a pit again. You are. Yeah, you are. You are. I took her last night. Plus, she takes 2 business days to decide where she wants to eat. Then decide for her.
The Crusaders!
You took her last night. She decided, right?
0.
So you decide today to take her anyways. Queen, let me see if I can find another one.
Take care of each other out there.
You can tell someone that they speak through their elbows, which means they speak too much. And we say falar pelos cotovelos. You could say to someone to falas pelos cotovelos, and that's kind of like insult. Like you can use that as an insult. I'll take Dulce out to dinner. Take me out to dinner on Roblox.
Much obliged.
Time for a fight! Make me
Ruinate all mockers. What is it now?
Come on, Raph.
I'm under attack.
Get along now.
Be nurtured.
Do you guys know what I want to do for the laughs? I want to play Roblox bingo one day. When like games get too hard, when I get like a lost streak, I'll go play
A cure for all
Roblox. Where is he? Where is he?
You're broken. May I? Hello.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, this Mercy's cracked.
Your assistant.
Not the res, man. Oh, I think she's mad. I want to play Roblox bingo for the last. Got revenge.
No opposition is insurmountable.
And since when do you play Overwatch?
Heroes never die.
No, fuck your brother. No, no.
Mother's kindness.
I don't mean this as an insult. Go treat your girlfriend today. She would love the second date in a row. Either that or I steal your girlfriend and you end up single, so which one would you prefer?
Your end is... I see a hostile.
Too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. Oh, okay, Battle Mercy. Okay, Battle Mercy.
There's a test subject.
Okay, Battle Mercy. I got you, I got you, I got you.
Such grievous wounds.
Where is he?
Your strength becomes mine. A cure for surrender to your mother.
Come on. This when you play Overwatch again. And yes, I did share that. That was a really good Ultra ult. I did share that on Steam. I am an Astarion lover. Oh, I'm doing such a fun Dark Urge run.
Victory.
Love you, Mercy. Such a fun Dark Urge run, like power hungry with Astarion. Crazy heals. Crazy heals. And I only play Overwatch. Oh, he's my sworn brother. She'll survive. And I only play Overwatch when I got a party because Overwatch community sucks booty. What do you mean it sucks booty? Are you kidding me? I mean, yeah, it does. Valorant is worse. So is Marvel Rivals. Astarion is a weak-haired parasite. Just tell me. Why are they asking me to join? Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you? Do I know you? Who is this? Who's Cersei's? What the fuck is Cersei's? I don't know. No, I'm still queuing. Oh, I'm playing Bastion. Who the fuck is this? Oh, it was Orion. No. Sorry. No, I'm so sorry. I need to disable friend request because this is like... Imagine I had dropped my Twitch and then they try adding me for checking my Twitch and then I'm just like, no. And then they check my Twitch and then they see me thinking like, no, I'm not doing this. You play Rivals. Rivals is so much worse in terms of community. So much worse. And yes, I have played Rivals, so I know what I'm talking about. And like, you can play Overwatch without the... Shut up, Queen. That's not true. I didn't say that. Hey, Schemy, we should play Overwatch one day. I'm a great community. But if you play like shit, I don't want to play with you. Okay. Just like, are you in my server? Aye. Chad, I'm done eating. I just need to check if I have something on my teeth.
Traveling to Dorado.
We lying now? Yeah, you're lying. You're the one lying. It's not me, darling. I never lied. Also, it's only 9 p.m. and I'm off tomorrow. I do need to go to the gym tomorrow. If I don't feel sick, because I'm PMSing like shit.
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
Yeah, that's why I had to cancel going to the gym. Thank you for the... Thank you for the... Hi, Dwaybu. I did just hydrate. I didn't do it on camera, but I did just hydrate. Hello, guys. I'm back. I just finished eating. Hi.
Anyone thirsty?
I need another Junker Queen so I can do like my TikTok flirting thing. La la la. But also, Skimmy, how are we supposed to talk if... No.
No. No. No.
How are we supposed to talk?
Over here. They're making games. Stop the pain. We must limit.
If you're not on Discord.
Pain is inevitable.
Oh, alright, I guess the Norris said this is going to be interesting. Wow.
A taste of poison.
I should have stayed with the other tank. He was good. I'm off work. How was work, darling? Oh yeah, you're back work now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here again right after work. I appreciate you, my mod. Thank you, Alpha. Thank you so much. You look fire as well, Alpha. I know it. I'm in your walls.
I offer something more.
Well, I think it's a GG's in this game. I'm not going to lie, chat. No. Oh my god.
Ruination is imminent.
Am I going against my other tank or what? I don't know. This is a mess.
Helpless. Weak.
This is a mess. This is a mess.
Hello there.
How about you leave me alone? Motherfucker. I just ignore them. Wow. Yeah, I ignore your messages as well. I ignore everyone's... No, chat. If you DM me, WhatsApp, Instagram... I'm a little bit better on WhatsApp. I don't know why. I think it's the stickers. And it's just like the Portuguese blood in me.
A cure for all the tales.
Like, Spanish, Portuguese people, and Latino people love a WhatsApp message. Do you know what I'm saying? Hello, Papa. Hello, Papa. Paparon Kuribu. How are you doing? Welcome back. It is been a while. How are you doing? So good to have you here. Thank you. I'm all done. Girl, love with work. Wait, what? Oh, chat. I am so sorry. This game is a mess. This game is a mess. I think our tank is very clueless. I had such a good game. I should have stayed with that tank.
Receive my aid.
I should have stayed with the other tank. He was right. It's very rare to find a good Reinhardt and a good Moira. I am never healing this motherfucker again. Veldar, hello! Yes, I changed my name to Paparon. Remind me what you were. I swear I've seen Paparon before.
Reverse the tide.
Oh, you're in the Discord, aren't you? How are you? Cause you're John, right? I'm not going crazy. Please, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with. Oh my god, this tank is so stupid.
Step rider.
Please, what is happening? What is happening? I'm giving up. John yeah, I remember. That's why I was just like, the John is familiar. How are you, Veldar? Depends who messages me. Nah, I'm just terrible, man. I think I still haven't replied to Chio. I have so many Discord messages, chat. It's insane. My name was just added the Papa. How is life treating you, darling? How's life been? Wait, what's happening? I respond to DMs within 3 hours for the most part. You're better than me. Oh, that sound is you? Which sound? Sorry, I'm just scrolling back. Which sound? To be honest, Chia is... Wow, queen. First I call you homie, then I call you Chia. That's insane.
How have you been?
That's
than
insane.
you, I'd assume.
You do reply to my messages quite quickly. I've noticed that.
I missed you too.
I don't
You
because
look
I don't
great,
reply
by
to
the way.
anyone's messages quickly. I'm just bad. I'm
Same
sorry.
saccharine tongue. Same empty head.
Just picked up the kids from school. Oh my god. If you can I call you John? Am I okay to call you John? John? Am I okay to call you John? John, please. Am I no, not the please. What? Why are we saying this at the start of the round? The sound in my walls. Oh! Yeah, that is me saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. Bro even wrote out, oh! Wow, okay, that's good. A member of your team has left the match. If you exit the match, the next...
A cure for all the tales.
Oh. Okay, so we just have to hell out. So he actually left. Wow. Great. Love leavers. That's okay. We just need to maintain. It's fine. I can leave and then I won't get penalized, right? Because they changed it and I won't get penalized, right? Yeah, this is very much a time difference. She doesn't even remember. Shut up. Yes, I can call you. Thank you, John. John, have you made your kids watch K-pop Demon Hunters?
My essence.
Asking for a friend. Have you made your kids watch K-pop Demon Hunters? Please say no. Because then you can accuse me of kind of like ruining your life and making it better because K-pop Demon Hunters will change your life. And then it's just like, but you ruined my life because my kids won't stop. What is that tank doing? Yeah, it's very much a tank div. I'm so done with these people. I haven't seen it either. John. Do you have to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, darling? Oh, he's back. So I can't leave. That's depressing. I want to leave this game. It's terrible. Can he leave again? Can you leave again?
I need a medic.
I require assistance.
It's so good. Your kids are gonna love it. Oh, they are leaving. Jesus. Yeah, please leave. Please leave so I can leave the match. What is our tank doing? Oh my god. This game is a mess. Gasp, gasp, gasp. I have unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever floats your boat. Well, you'll make up your mind in a sec. I have watched and proudly watched K-pop Demon Hunters 7 times. I have my letterbox to show you. I am trying. What is our tank doing there?
Surrender to your mother.
Oh, he was looking for the ult. Well, that's not very efficient, is it? Well, I guess that separated them. And we got the first point. Can you, like, stop leaving so I can leave this game? Then don't. Can someone actually leave?
A taste of poison. You will be renewed.
Kakarot is definitely my favorite. Wait, what's happening?
For the parched.
Why are we talking about Pokemons? You don't. Can someone actually leave? Can they actually leave? For good.
I've dealt with cynics
Oh my god.
before.
Can they actually leave, please?
For the parched. You're broken. May I?
wishing for change.
This is such a weird game, man. Oh, what a good thingy. Sorry, Chad. I'll read you. I feel like I'm missing. I'm sorry. This game is bonkers.
Be nurtured.
This game is so bonkers. This game is so bonkers. Don't watch a lot of anime. Only animes, maybe Pokemon. I'm not a person into singing in a show, anime, or movie. Kakarot is definitely my favorite Pokemon. Is that what you... Hot take. I hate K-pop because it's overrated and overdone. There's always a new group and there's one every week. And you know what? That is why I think you will love K-pop Demon Hunters. I know the name is not great. I know the name is not great. But obviously it is at the end of the day a kids movie. But they do criticize the K-pop community and like the industry. Shit, I fucked. Oh, I'm gonna end up.
Surrender to your mother.
Crazy alt.
Pain is in
GG's. My friends. The songs are the soundtrack is amazing, and oh shit, there's ads. Okay, I'll talk about afterwards. Oh, I'm going.
Setting out the welcome mat.
This is crazy. This is actually crazy.
a taste of
Avoid a Steam report. Gameplay sabotage, intentionally feeding and blocking griefing.
Play of the game.
Are they mad in chat? Not even. Who was leaving? Oh, it was Hellfire. And then you get reported because you gameplay sabotage, leaving and rejoining on purpose multiple times. Dangerously love. My SSR is so shit. My SSR is so shit. I need water. I'll be right back. And it will be so well timed with ads. Ow. Welcome back from ads. Okay, John, I was saying. That's why I think you might be surprised. I won't say you love, okay? Let's not put the barrier up, like the bar up there. But an amazing thing about K-pop Demon Hunters is its criticism about the K-pop industry, as well as family dynamics. Oh my god, and like excessive control as well. Where the fuck is it? Where did I put my... Need to clean my glasses. The sound... I think your kids would love the soundtrack. They might not be very into anime, but I think they will like it. I will watch when I have a chance. That is good. I don't touch grass. I mow lawns. I also smoke weed in my barbecue. That is so specific. Do you smoke the weed whilst you're doing the barbecue? Doesn't that get into the food? Have fun, my love, and be safe, okay? And be safe. Then the time, okay, there's ads. Immediately gets, yeah, damn. That was quick. Well, welcome back. Love you, homie. I mean, she is always in our heads. Says wood. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Yikes. Chica, are you high? I'm always high, but no, I'm sober as hell. I'm not. I just. Damn, Dulce. That is so embarrassing. That is really embarrassing. That is really embarrassing. Spicy mamacita. No, we know what she's thinking about. Actually, I haven't. Will this break TOS? Okay, I just want to put, just in case this is breaking TOS. I do not want this to seem like I'm not promoting smoking weed, and I am so sorry that I implied that. I actually thought it said weed. Fine, good for you. Like, I've done it in the past, but I generally haven't smoked weed in years. Clippers, clip this. I can clip it for you. I've done it. I'm not promoting smoking weed. I'm not. Twitch, don't come for me. But I actually haven't done it in years. So, like, I'm still on Discord. That's insane. I'm still on Discord, though. Yeah, but no, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Gia Bobby, I was about to wrap up stream. How are you? Isn't it late for you? Isn't it very late for you? Smoking wood. Wink, wink. Maybe you are trolling me, because that's maybe what you meant, but you just didn't want to say it. It's 11 soon. Have you been playing Infinity Nikki again? I write that. I love that for you. You need to show me your character. We know what you mean, Dolce. Yeah. Fair with you, boo. You smoke the weed that you want to smoke. What's wrong with that? I'm not promoting it, Twitch. Don't ban me, please, guys. Don't report me. How was stream, Pookie? A stream was so fun. We finally placed in silver. Don't talk to me. Please. I mean, talk to me. Dolce, I live in Houston and own a barbecue restaurant. What wood is being smoked? The kitchen counter wood? I don't know. Do you kind of have, like, you know the show The Bear? You know the one where they're all fighting? You know the one we're full of drama? Is it like kind of like that? Is it kind of like that in your restaurant? Yes. Oh my god. As in, yes, you know the show, or yes, it's like that. Because that's crazy. They do. It's so insane. I would cry every day. I already cry almost every week. I would genuinely. How do they like their jobs? I only watched like a couple of episodes and it was enough. It was enough. My restaurant is more like Terry Black's in Austin. What's that? Is that like a chain? Same. That's why I didn't do an apprentice as a chef. You had the opportunity to do that. Is this new Chia lore I'm finding out? Sorry, chat. Is this new Chia lore I'm finding out about? What am I? This is crazy. This is crazy, chat. I didn't. Well, you can cook. That is true. You can't. That's not a surprise to me. But I don't envision you in a kitchen. I'm sorry, I just don't. I just don't envision you in a kitchen. You belong in a throne. That's how you flirt with women. You belong in a throne. I'm so cringe. You can YouTube Terry Black's barbecue. Okay. Hold up. What's up? I don't eat meat, but that does look good. Your home for legendary Central Texas barbecue. Oh my god, they even have merch? That's crazy. I need to go back to America after a certain president goes out of power, because I'm too gay to be there. He's Hassan Piker on, because I want to raid Hassan Piker. Dreamers is on, though. Would you guys like a cozy vibe? Lore drop, literally. Then I did a commercial one working in an office. Wait. Hey, dress a chef for the apprenticeships I originally wanted to do. Wait, Alpha, is your friend streaming already? And are they good vibes? I mean, I assume they are good vibes. If they're your friend. Is your friend streaming already? Otherwise, we'll raid Dreamers. Kind of want to raid someone new. And it's already nearly 10 o'clock. That is like overly bedtime for me, Chad. Not yet. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well, guess we'll go raid my bestie. Wait. Chat, thank you so much for being here. That game was a bit of an L. It was unfortunate. That last game was a bit of an L. Follow me on socials if you haven't, and if you want to keep up with me. I have a new TikTok. I know I have like 3 different TikToks. I'm sorry. But basically, I have my main TikTok at Dulce the Milkies for like my edited stuff, Overwatch and RPGs, because I'm also doing a Dragon Age playthrough that I haven't recorded in weeks. We don't talk about that. We haven't recorded in over a month, but there is a 3rd episode up on my YouTube channel. And then I have my Dulce the Milkies _ clips where I post embarrassing stuff. Like that time that I told Shia that I was a furry because I'm into monster fucking. And there is an extreme fine line between monster fucking and furries. So I might just have to accept the fact that I'm probably a furry. I do know that clip by heart. Yes, I do. Tres de leches cake with almond and cream frosting. Now that's where that's enticing. So are you delivering it? Or like, do I pop up? Do I get a fly? Or like, what the hell? I want it. Although I can't really have almond. I have been increasing my almond tolerance, but not gonna lie, I thought a clip one was the Cat thought the same. I'm a nobody. Why would you think people are creating accounts of me? That is very sweet. But did you think they were doing that to like put me in, like set me up for trouble, like set me up or something like that? Girl, you're not a nobody. Stop it. No, that's right. One day I'll be like Vanilla Mace's kind of like up body. I'm not a nobody, I'm a nut body. Don't say that. But it's not kind of like, I don't want it to seem like I'm shitting on like what we have here. Please guys, that's not. Time to make a Dolce fan account. The Latina Vanilla. I'm not Latina. I'm Portuguese. I'm not Latina. Doesn't Vanilla have like, oh no, she's white. She's white. Dreamers. Latina Europina, that's insane. Guys, please. Now that's the furry thing. No, that's setting me up to be cancelled on the internet, let's be honest. Latina Europina, that's funny! That's funny. And don't forget to join the Discord if you haven't. Especially because Twitch is being such. I know the Discord is not like overly active because I'm so sorry. I want the Discord to be more active, especially now like October, Christmas time, so people gather up, have that sense of community. I think that is one of like my faults as a streamer, is that my Discord is not very active. I'm not very active on Discord either way. I do be funny sometimes. Shut the fuck up. You are funny all the time. I've been to Lisbon. Have you told me this before? Or am I just cracking up in the brain? Am I smoking weed? Thanks for the fun stream. Thank you so much for popping in. Guys, if you want to write in to Enjoy Now Dreamers Arcadia, because they are back to stream because they were off on holidays. What was I saying? Then join us. If not, I will see you when I see you, and that is all okay. I just thank you so much for being here. And stay safe, keep others safe, and don't forget, what do we say? Another day, another purr. Another day, another purr slay. Bye bye, bye bye. I'll see you tomorrow. 6 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. UK time because I have work on Sunday.